We'll just watch Shanna until people start arriving in.
Hey. Shanna!
Ow! How you doing? What are you? Ow!
Don't eat my plants. Don't eat my plants. No, can't eat that.
What's up? Oh my god. Okay.
Yo, you need some help, buddy?
I'm good, man.
Sure?
I'm chilling, yeah.
Let me
Don't
help.
touch me! Hey, don't touch me! Thank you, kind sir. I guess. Come on! Come on!
Thank you. My name is Cornelius Maximus III, son of Cornelius the Fallen, and heir to the murder of
I'm
crowds.
sorry, but the surgery is going to be too expensive.
Nothing is too expensive for this man. I have more than enough. Yo, you need some help, buddy?
I'm good, man.
Sure?
I'm chilling, yeah.
Big God.
My boyfriend tells me I'm banned from fixing things around the house. God forbid women do anything. I am literally an astrophysicist. Now, why would you cook something at 425 for 10 minutes when you can just blast it at 4,250 for one?
Big God. SpongeBob, big God. Big God.
Oh, Dargesh, are you still here? Dargesh, this one's for you if you're still here. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, CT. Alright, we'll wait to see if Dargesh shows back up. Okay, you're here. This one's for you. I saw this one, I was like,
Let me see your identification.
I have no idea how I'm going to put this shoe on. Point my ankle that way?
Yes.
Or should I point it more this way? Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you. Can I have a shoehorn? Get this one.
the stormtroopers was hilarious.
How will you hold on this thing?
I think you should keep that.
Pull-ups are so much easier because you're missing a leg. Put on my leg, do them with it. Oh my god. No, please, my leg. Hey, listen, man, my leg's kind of tired. Is it cool if I just... I'll give it back later.
This kid, he's very fortunate. His parents have incredible insurance. And he gets these really nice custom legs.
Hurry.
Oh, I've seen him's brought it back. Jack. Oh. Jack Sparrow. Running. This has got to be one of my favourite scenes from Pirates. Rejoice, comrades! The resident philosopher. Hi, Scribby. A little bit later tonight, sorry, I was on a voice call on the Turn Left voice chat with Jim Speak, Specs, Bean Farmer, Natalie Ainurian, T. Cozy, who is Rachel Atwood, X, who is Oliver on the Discord. Who else did we have? Sly Loris. It was awesome. I had so much fun. How are you tonight? Great to see you, by the way. Like Captain Jack running. Carry on, Jack.
Time to go.
Cast off those lines! Good doggy! Alas, my children, this is the day you shall always remember as the day that you almost... Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh Christ! No obligation to stay. If they do start kicking off, I completely understand. I've been in that situation before as well. It sucks. Hopefully they won't, so I can actually keep you captured. Fucking hell. I feel for you, Scribby, I do. Move up to Glasgow. No. I want you to live in peace and comfort and to help us all. Because you are based. You are very knowledgeable. I love you desperately. Thank you. Yeah, I hope they don't kick off. See if I can find my favourite one. Where is it? Oh, it is a short. It might be in the shorts feed. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, so they're essentially adults. Delightful, don't get me wrong. Some adults are good. Some adults are alright, I guess. And some are downright mental, crazy, evil, blah blah blah. Pick up pejorative. I like that one. Where is she? No. No. I do not need to watch them on YouTube. I've got the DVDs, thank you. Not there, not there, not there. Nah, bugger it. Mystery! Welcome. Oh, don't you worry about that. Whenever I go live and if you're free, you're more than welcome to come in, obviously. I mean, I don't run to a set schedule. I completely understand when people don't run to a set schedule, essentially. I've done it for most of my life. The day that you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow. Oh God. Let's go to my watch later. Scribby, my comrade. Isn't Labour looking in a bit of a disarray? Jim Speak was telling me that they're going to be having that by-election on the 26th. So basically in a month's time. Christ, that's short order. Not like they're scared or anything. This by-election's going to be mental. And rejoice, Reformer putting up Zia Yusuf. The word shit show doesn't even come close, not at all, no. Apparently they're meant to be running this country. These 4 nations. Doing a bang up job, aren't they? Oh, yeah, I'll get to you. Oh, God, that one's a bit long. I'll get round to that one eventually. Let's just rearrange that. Oh, no. Let's move you up there. Yeah, we'll do it in that order. Then we'll go on to Minnesota. Tory Party 1, 2, or 3. Pretty much. Yeah. Me. I'll say again, this by-election's going to be absolutely fucking mental. And I am here for it. I'll be closely looking at the turnout and the voting levels and things of that nature, see how many, what the turnout is. Obviously anything less than, as far as I'm concerned, anything less than 75% is shit turnout. Between the no man's land of like 50% to 75% turnout. Alright, anything less than 50, nah. Shite, just nah. And I say that speaking here in the north of Glasgow, where one of the lowest turnouts ever recorded in our general election was here in this very constituency I live in. 22%. Dog shit. Seriously, the level of disengagement here in the north of Glasgow is astounding. Yeah, I hate to admit that, but hopefully that can get changed. I don't know. Time will tell, obviously. Look! Suella has defected. Is anyone surprised? Fuck it, let's hear.
My message to you is clear, plain and simple. Never trust a Tory. Did you get that? I'll repeat it. Never trust a Tory. They will
Why do you keep on inviting the defectors in then, Nigel? Seriously? Some self-realisation, please, there, man frog, I beg of you. Your party is completely untenable now. It's always been untenable up here in Scotland, but it is now becoming increasingly untenable in England as well. Just saying.
always let you down. They will always betray you. Reform UK are the real deal.
A big breaking news there that Suella Braverman, the former Home Secretary, has become the latest Conservative to defect.
And another now gets hammered into the coffin of reform. How on earth can any Reform voter now defend this party as being different to Labour and Conservative, who they used to call the Uniparty? Many supporters saw Reform as a grassroots movement, but instead the party's being taken over by the very people who were responsible for breaking Britain. Tory after Tory after Tory. They shat the bed and then jumped out of the window so that they could return back to the scene of the crime and pretend it wasn't them. What a joke.
Takes the tally of Reform MPs up to 8, and 5 of those, I think, have come from the Conservatives. Lee Anderson, then you had Danny Kruger, of course Robert Jenrick last week or the week before.
Wow, and I bet there's still voters buying this shit. That Reform are like a football club and the defecting MPs are just signings. Wake up, that's rubbish. They aren't footballers, they're people who were responsible for policies that just made things worse.
She said that the Conservatives are a party who won't keep its promises to you. I've had enough of this, of the delusions and the lines. She then repeated some of Jenrick's terminology about the party being broken, or rather Britain being broken. She is another big name Conservative that has decided that she would have a better future in Reform than the Conservative Party.
What a gravy train riding opportunist. Like Nigel, like Jenrick, like Tice, like Anderson and all the others. Suella's just in it for herself.
So I was scrolling around on YouTube the other day and I saw this video by a guy called Political Waffle, and it's meant to be a criticism on Zach Polanski. So I thought I'd have a little look and see what this criticism's all about. And it turns out that, well, the channel name's quite accurate.
The Green Party have brought out a brand new party political broadcast, and in Zach's words, what they're attempting to do is make hope normal again. Oh, God bless these Marxists.
He then goes on and shows the Green Party's political message they did, you know, the one where Zach Polanski's running about a lot, which I'm going to cut past, but if you want to watch it, it's in the description.
I do appreciate that in some respects life is a lottery. Without doubt, life is a lottery. You can be the most gifted, most talented, bright person, and if you're born in the wrong place at the wrong time, your life will be horrific.
So he's talking about how someone's material conditions to some extent affect their possibilities for success in life, which is something I definitely agree with, but he does go on to clarify that he is a proponent of the pull yourself up by your bootstraps ideology that we often see from the right.
I'm also of the conservative mindset that I believe that you should pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and in some ways you do make your own luck.
Which, at its core, isn't a concept I necessarily disagree with. It's just when it's paired with the notion...
Rejoice, the shouty bloke. Hi, shouty. Welcome, welcome. Yes, apparently she's found her home. Remind me again if they're a different political party. They're definitely seeming more and more like the Tories every day now. Just saying.
That somehow social safety nets get in the way of people finding their own self-determination to do well in life. That's where I feel that this position usually falls apart. But anyway, we're going off on a tangent. The main point of this video was the criticism about Zach Polanski. So let's hear it.
And the people that Mr. Polanski is talking to are the people that are suffering. And when you're suffering, you will cling on to anything. And that's one of the reasons why I dislike Zach Polanski and the whole of the Green Party movement as much as I do.
And here's where the shallowness of this video starts to become, I think, incredibly evident. He tries to make a critique on populist movements in general, which, without any real criticism on policy, is just substanceless.
And what Mr. Polanski is offering those people is hope. How's he going to give these people hope? Well, Mr. Polanski believes that through the application of Marxism and, old-fashioned communism, that everyone's lives will be improved.
This pattern of thought is incredibly endemic to the right, and it's the notion that any resistance at all by the government to the power of capital is somehow Marxist communism, and then that label is used to dismiss movements, people, or ideas entirely. In truth, the policies that Zach Polanski's championing, as of current, are corporation tax and wealth tax, which are definitionally not communism. Wealth taxes and corporate taxes operate within a capitalist structure. That's the way they work.
That if we only understood that the rich people are making all of our lives worse, life would be fairer and there would be equity for all. And this child's-like view of the world is patently untrue. The top 1% pay 33% of government taxes. The top 5% pay over half.
And that is the extent of the reasoning that this guy provides in his video for calling the Green Party or Zach Polanski communists, to the point of 1% of the people pay 33% of overall taxes. Yes, that makes sense. That's how progressive taxation works. You'd expect to see the lion's share of the tax revenue coming from the top earners, obviously.
Rejoice, comrades. Carla's wild ride. Carla, darling, hello. Welcome, welcome. Everyone, go and follow Carla. She is beast. Hi, darling.
And I think it's important to look at this with proportionality in mind. If you look at the statistics, the bottom 10% consistently pay a larger proportion of their income in tax than the highest 10% do. And if we're talking about wealth in general, the bottom half hold only 4.7% of wealth, whereas the top 10% holds 57% of the wealth in the economy.
Capitalism itself.
Yeah. I'm having a good day. Thank you, my dear. My joints, like my knees and my ankles and my feet, are swollen to buggery. Okay. But other than that, I'm doing quite well. 1:28 a.m. It's night. I usually go live between 11 and midnight, but I went live a little bit later because I was in a voice call earlier on. Yeah, it's quite late here. Kind of late? Not very late. Our class very late is anything past 3 a.m. So, kind of late.
Is far from perfect, but this snake oil that Mr. Polanski is offering won't bring hope, won't make hope normal again. All it'll do is bring more suffering to people that are already suffering.
And that's it. I can't help but feel very underwhelmed at the level of analysis or criticism this video provided in general. After all, the description reads, "In this video, I break down why Marxist ideas always sound seductive in theory, and why they consistently fail in practice, leaving more suffering, less freedom, and weaker societies in their wake." But at the end of the day, no real points were made. And I think this happens in good faith arguments and bad faith arguments from the right, that any left-wing position is just kind of written off as communism. But I think at the end of the day, moneyed interests within a society will always have an increased amount of power behind them, and pushing back against those interests is not communism. Anyway, that's about it from me, so yeah, in a bit.
Labour is finished. Finito. Kaput. May it rest in peace. Blocking Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Greater Manchester, from standing in the upcoming Denton and Gorton by-election, which is a...
I will return. Give me 2 minutes, please, my comrades. You can sit there and look at our gorgeous little twink, even though he's only 4 years younger than me, 5 years younger than me. Oh, and how do you do it? You still look like you're in your 30s. Anyway. I would say jammy little bastard, but I'm just jealous, really. Fine.
Sort of see, normally you would just weigh the vote for Labour rather than bother counting it. That really seals their fate. That really is the last nail hammered into their coffin with much aplomb, I have to say. Andy Burnham...
Oh. Good night indeed. Stay hydrated, not necessarily with Magners. Self-care is good care. Take your meds if you need to take any. Stay based. Free Palestine. And laugh at everyone that's going to be running in the Gorton and Denton by-election, cause it is going to be fucking hilarious. Good night, Mr. E. Stay based. Much love. I'll talk to you later. Carry on, Owen.
Of course, is one of the only Labour politicians who isn't slightly less popular than most strains of the bubonic plague. Now look, a controversial opinion here. Totally rational on the part of Starmer's goons to block Andy Burnham. If the survival of Starmer's goons is their only priority, makes sense. Burnham isn't standing, let me just put this gently, to add a bit of magic, a little bit of, you know, je ne sais quoi to Starmer's team and really turn it all around for them. The real reason is he wants to overthrow Keir Starmer in a coup when Labour is inevitably thrashed in the coming May elections. In his letter, written in support of being able to stand in the by-election, he said he would be there in Westminster to support the work of the government, not undermine it. He didn't say he was loyal to the Prime Minister. You see, this is what was going to happen. In May, there are parliamentary elections in Scotland and Wales and local elections in England. Labour's going to get wiped out. In Wales, Plaid Cymru are set to form their first ever government. They're set to take the post of First Minister. Let me put that in perspective. Welsh Labour is the most electorally successful party on the face of the earth. I am not exaggerating. That is not me kidding in any shape or form. As long as democracy has properly existed in this country, Welsh Labour have always won in Wales. Do you know what they got in a recent poll? 10%. Now, if Burnham was back in Westminster and Plaid Cymru were on our screens doing rousing renditions of the Welsh national anthem to celebrate forming their first ever Welsh government, Burnham would just say, if he was in Parliament, well, I'm afraid to say it's Starmer remaining in number 10, that's undermining the worth of government. I'm your only hope to turn it all around. But here's the thing. If factional control of Labour is your thing, sure, makes sense, block Burnham. If your priority was, I don't know, saving the Labour Party, that's a different matter. Starmer, you see, is slightly less popular at this point than Fred West. His net favourability is minus 57, according to YouGov, the joint lowest of any Prime Minister other than Liz Truss.
Minus 57, holy fuck. Burn. Scribby, what do you think of that? Minus 57, holy fuck. Holy fucking hell. He's about as popular as herpes. Fuck. I will say again, this by-election is going to be absolutely fucking crazy. Gorton and Denton, I feel for yous, I really do.
Famously, of course, beaten by a lettuce. Look, I quit Labour a couple of years ago, as my vastly improved mental health will testify. In a sense, I'm intruding on private grief. Though obviously, they are the government. I am invested in this country not being run by a bunch of soulless hacks. This party, however, is facing oblivion. But the people who run the Labour Party, these goons, as I keep talking about, would rather burn the party to the ground than allow someone even vaguely interested in redistributing wealth and power from the tiny elite who run the country in favour of ordinary people. Let's listen to Keir Starmer now, who is, for now, our Prime Minister.
Minister, closer to home, you led the charge over the weekend to stop Andy Burnham running for Parliament. You argued the case, you personally voted against him at the National Executive Committee. Many MPs are furious about this. One MP called you cowardly. Can you explain to them why you blocked him?
Yeah, but be very clear about that. We have really important elections already across England for local councils, very important elections in Wales for the government there, and very important elections in Scotland for the Scottish Government. That will affect millions of people, and we're out campaigning on the cost of living, and they're very important elections. We need all of our focus on those elections. Andy Burnham's doing a great job as the Mayor of Manchester, but having an election for the Mayor of Manchester when it's not necessary would divert our resources away from the elections that we must have and that we must fight and win. And resources, whether that's money or people, need to be focused on the elections that we must have, not elections that we don't have to have. And that was the...
That's out of your control. You do realise that, Keir, don't you? If someone feels it's necessary to step aside, either through ill health or other nefarious reasons, or if the MP dies, which is completely out of your fucking control, you don't get to dictate when that actually happens, especially if they pass away. See, that's a BS reason. So no. Fucking hell.
Basis of the NEC decision.
Just look at his eyes. The eyes of a haunted, rattled, cornered man who knows his execution looms, just doesn't know the exact date and time. Now, one of the key arguments for blocking Burnham is that there would be a mayoral election caused by him vacating his position as mayor in Greater Manchester, and Labour might lose that election. I'll give you an example. One journalist has posted a Labour MP texts, "The National Executive Committee has stopped reform taking Manchester. Fucking Burnham risked handing over the whole city to those twats just for his own ambition of being Prime Minister of the government that he didn't build, leading on a majority he didn't win." These people are unpleasant, yes, and also completely delusional. Let's just start with one element here, the majority. Here's what happened at the last election, in case they forgot. The Conservative Party essentially doused themselves in petrol and set themselves on fire. Just one catastrophe after the other. Liz Truss, that debacle was enough to finish them. But they had the whole Boris Johnson nightmare. You know, they had all the scandals, worst squeeze in living standards ever recorded. We could go on. It was just one disaster after the other. And on top of all that, they then ran, the worst general election campaign anyone's ever run. I mean, they basically spent a few weeks vomiting all over themselves. You know, they handed the government over, basically, to Labour. They basically gift-wrapped it. It was just one open goal for the Labour Party. And even in the most favourable conditions imaginable, do you know what Labour won in that election? A third of the vote, on the lowest turnout in the history of British democracy. Do they really think that bad result, by the way, which they only got because, you know, in terms of the because they go, well, we won 2/3 of the seats. Yeah, because of our electoral system, crucially as well, you know, fused with the fact Nigel Farage's reform split the right of centre vote. Do they really think they got that result because of Keir Starmer's charisma? And do they really not think that actually someone else leading Labour might have done slightly better? No? Well, as I said, they are delusional. I just want to zone in on the other part of the argument here, which has been shared by the Labour hierarchy, which is the risk of Labour losing Greater Manchester. Just take a moment. In May 2024, Andy Burnham, Labour's candidate, won over 63% of the vote in Greater Manchester, more than 6 times the share of his second-place Tory rival. Reform came fourth with 7.5% of the vote.
So this is the mayoralty. Oh, he's Labour Co-op. I keep on forgetting that. basically the Labour co-op MPs or politicians, either be it up here or down in the Senate or in local government in England and Wales and stuff like that. The co-op is meant to be on the left of the Labour Party, so more left-leaning policies essentially. A lot of them aren't. A lot of the ones voted up here that are Scottish Labour, they're the Labour co-op as well. They're not left-leaning at all. Trust me. Douglas Alexander is apparently Labour co-op. Nah. No, he's not. Trust me on that one. I can't remember if Ian Murray's Labour co-op or not. But Douglas Alexander's meant to be. But anyway, he's a fucking Blairite piece of scum. Hint. Your last is not like Douglas Alexander for many, many reasons. Would you look at that? I think Manchester likes Andy Burnham. Just a feeling. Would you look at that? How the fuck did the Tories get 10% in Manchester? I suppose there must be some posh twats in Manchester. An independent came third, beating the Reform degree. Oh, Hannah. The Lib Dems lost their deposit. Get wrecked, Lib Dems. Alistair Carmichael still exists. Fuck. Orkney and Shetland, can you hear me? Please vote out that Lib Dem wanker, would yous? I beg. Thank you.
If the Labour hierarchy really think within 2 years of winning a result, which, you know, with the share of a vote that a lot of dictatorships get when they rig an election, they really think they could lose one of their key heartlands to reform, then they're admitting their party faces oblivion. That's what they're admitting. And if they were rational, they'd go, oh my God, we need to change direction. Look at us. But they're not. And that sums it up. Thing is, right, Burnham is not some raging lefty. Now, he was a New Labour special advisor who, you know, in 2010, when he stood for Labour leadership, was actually, you know, the ultra Blairite candidate. And then he became Shadow Health Secretary and went on a journey under Ed Miliband to the soft left, if you like. And then in 2015, he stood as a leadership candidate and basically went off into the Blairite trajectory again. And, you know, Jeremy Corbyn became leader of the Labour Party as a result because of Burnham going off in that direction. And I think since then he's gone on a genuine, authentic journey to the soft left. He's a decent guy compared to this crew. He's got a solid record as Mancunian mayor with progressive policies like public ownership of buses. He understands the old right-wing mantras just aren't relevant for the world we live in. He's had a pragmatic readjustment. He's not an ideologue in kind of hardcore Blairite way. Do I really think, given his record, he would stand up?
Rejoice! I have been invaded by a Natok. Glorious. Hello, Natok. Say hello to Natok, everyone. Based American. Hello, Natok. How goes things? We are watching the Labour Party go into meltdown. It is glorious. I am loving it. I'm here for this. What some journalists and lobby hacks would describe as a psychodrama. Not that you lovely Americans would know anything about political psychodrama at all. Good evening, my friend. How are you? Great to see you, by the way. Thank you. Thank you. Look at our lovely little twink. This be Owen Jones. He be based. I can't remember if he's joined. He's not Labour anymore. Trust me, he's not. He left 2.5 years ago. Nearly 3, actually. He is an outspoken critic of our current Labour government because he is based and he is very intelligent. Praise be our lovely little twink, even though he's only 5 years younger than me. By the way, Owen's going to be 42 this year. He doesn't fucking look it. I'm going to be 47 this year. Do I look it? I definitely feel it. Not entirely sure if I look it. That is up for you to decide if I look 47 or not.
To the right-wing parliamentary Labour Party, be able to withstand all the extra pressure as well from the Tories, Reform, the media, the big business elite, the United States under Trump, the pro-Israel lobby. I don't know, if I'm honest. I'm not confident of that at all. But he would try and go in a different, more progressive direction. And as I've said, Labour's masters would rather burn the party to the ground than that ever happened. Let's listen to Nadia Whitton, who's one of the few remaining decent Labour MPs.
A lot of backbench MPs feel is that our loyalty is to the Labour Party, not to some of the people at the top of the Labour Party who are wrecking the party that we love and what is currently the only electoral vehicle.
Nadia, my darling, I love you. You do quite well. You're a good constituency MP. You do well. Thank you. You're the upper echelon, the actual cabinet, and the members who are high up in the parliament, either the cabinet members, the actual cabinet, the junior ministers, and some of the backbenchers as well, are self-interested pieces of crap. They keep on infighting. They keep on briefing against each other, just like the Tories used to do when they were in power. To a certain extent, they're still briefing against each other in the shadow cabinet. Delightful to watch, just watching the two main parties here in the UK basically going to meltdown and be sniping, backstabbing bastards, essentially. Never been known in politics at all. Ever, apparently. Oh, I'll be fine. It's because I showed sports ball. Like a naughty girl. I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to risk it again. I need my platform. I need to be able to speak to all you lovely, lovely beast individuals. Education is my goal. I just thought I'd show my game. Because I love my football team. I do. Yes, bad girl, stop that. Learned my lesson. I will not be doing that. Don't get me wrong, I'll still be watching football. Just not on stream. I'm here. Don't you worry. I will not put myself in jeopardy again like that. And anyway, I do like shitposting about the Labour Party because, obviously. And to a lesser extent, the GOP and the Democrats because, obviously, meh. Oh, I'm sure I've asked you in the past. Is your state red, blue, or purple? Would you say? Much better. Ah, fuck, I'll put my lips on as well. Brighten up my face a bit. It's a lovely sort of nude pink, it's rather good. It just slightly accentuates the lips. Mostly red. I like to check, especially in the... I'm debating whether or not... I'd love your input on this, Natok. Do you think I should cover the midterms? Obviously, there's going to be US-based streamers who are going to be covering it anyway. I'm just wondering if maybe I might dip a toe in and take a look to see what the midterms are like when they're happening. Might be fun. I would say I'd want the duopoly to get smashed, but I don't see that happening, unfortunately. Nah. Carry on, Nadia, my darling.
To prevent a reform-led government in 2029, the stakes are so high.
To be clear, you think Keir Starmer doing what he's doing, Keir Starmer staying in office, he is the one who is risking reform reaching power?
Well, I think ultimately the responsibility lies with the leader.
Well, she's right. They are wrecking the party, but they don't care. They just want factional control. They would rather burn the party to the ground than let their faction lose control of the Labour Party. Now, look, I always try to keep to the politics, and I try to avoid going personal, despite a lot of provocation. But please let me have this one exception. The Guardian quote one Labour minister responding to the party's decision to block Burnham, saying, "You reap what you sow, Andy, it's harvest time. You reap what you sow, Andy, it's harvest time."
Excuse me?
The thing is, right, you've got to ask yourself, do normal people speak like that?
No.
I mean, they don't, do they? Do you know who speaks like that? Dickheads, that's who speak like that. This is a dickheadocracy, ruled by dickheads. It's not just that they're soulless hacks who'd sell their own mother on eBay for a parliamentary seat. They're just utterly unpleasant weirdos. You can imagine that minister getting off, probably literally, when he typed out that message. He was like, "It's harvest time. Oh my God, what a zinger." Total freaks. Now, Burnham is on the warpath. He tweeted, "The fact that the media was informed of the NEC decision before I was tells you everything you need to know about the way the Labour Party is being run these days. You would think over 30 years of service would count for something, but sadly not." Labour strenuously denied this.
Good point.
Burnham ally Sasha Lord tweeted, "100% true. Link to the Guardian at 11:56, then posted online. Burnham called at 12:12, then emailed 12:20. More Labour lies." Now, Tom Baldwin, who is a journalist who's basically in the court of Starmer, wrote a gushing biography, tweeted, "I've always liked Andy Burnham, but the prospect of him returning to Westminster has already added to inward-looking psychodrama that does no one any good. And an unnecessary by-election..."
Is anyone in your state up for re-election in November, Natok? You can maybe just post what's happening, give me little snippets and stuff, and I might just cover it tangentially, really. There's going to be other ones. I'm not entirely sure if either Shanna or Cappy are going to be covering it. Raptor might, Christina, Cosmopolitics might. Who else have we got? Red Rust won't, and I don't blame them. Peacefire might do it, even though he's Canadian. He might cover the midterms. There's a couple that might cover. Maybe Carol will cover it. Maybe. I don't see. Maybe Baby Game Shift might mention it every now and again during the time. I think Raptor's probably the main one. Hey, else give me on it. I'll just go and check. See what lovely what lovely Americans we've got that might actually cover it. Gnome? Xerxes probably won't. Q might cover it. Park Horse might as well. Maybe a little bit. Maybe Shift. Hugh might cover it. That one black guy, I don't think he'll cover it.
For Mayor of Manchester might well have resulted in long-term damage to his reputation too. Now, Burnham said, in response, I'm not sure losing a by-election does us any good either, Tom. Oof, that's really set off Starmer's crew. What does this all mean? It means ultra-Blairite West Streeting is in pole position because Starmer is going to fall. That's what's going to happen, because he's finished. But that suits Labour's masses just fine. This crew believe in nothing.
Nothing just about it. Yes, he has been fired. So he was literally pushed instead of jumping. So the analogy I use the most is whether someone was, metaphorical of course, whether they were pushed, like basically kicked by whatever political movement, party, blah blah blah, or whether they jumped, they done it of their own self-accord to either save face or just to get the fuck out of there, essentially. Yeah, he was basically pushed. Finally, that being in charge of a marauding, murdering force within America. Not really good optics. Not that Trump cares about optics, obviously he doesn't. Completely disinterested, essentially. That's been proven many, many times over the last sort of 50 years, really. So yeah, Greg Bovino was pushed. Gestapo, exactly. Literally murdering people on the streets in broad daylight. Fun! Amazing, isn't it? And there's political parties here in the UK who want to introduce that into the UK. No, fuck off. Nah. Right, fine, you might get the legislation through. Do you think we're going to adhere to it? Come on, Nigel, you know exactly what the British electorate, what the British people are like. We won't stand for that kind of bollocks. We won't. Mark my words. If you try to do that, just wait and see what happens. Just a friendly warning, if you wish. Again, no violence, my friends. No violence, comrades, I beg of yous. But being able to point shit out to them. Maybe they'll hear us, maybe they'll listen, maybe they'll even act in our best interest and their own best interest. Well, they're kind of opposed, really. In certain aspects, diametrically opposed. But yeah, don't introduce that sort of bollocks into the UK. We won't stand for it. Our police are essentially unarmed, and we don't like them that much, especially certain aspects. Mate. And created by Labour, no less, exactly. Yeah. We won't stand for that kind of nonsense here in the UK. They really should know that by now. They really should. Can you hear us yet?
But power, for its own sake and defining themselves against the left. Look at their record. Kicking pensioners, kicking disabled people, one of the harshest asylum systems in the whole of Europe, raiding the rhetoric of Enoch Powell, gutting the international aid budget, sucking up to Trump, arming a genocide. Freebies from rich donors because they are obsessed with the trappings of power. No vision, no soul. Wall Street's already deeply unpopular with the electorate. And as leader, he'd come across as even more cynical and slimy and unprincipled than Keir Starmer. But he would keep the same general political direction. He'd probably double down on it. The party would sink under him. But they'd go, fine, let it sink. Rather than let anyone vaguely more progressive take over. The fight in the Gorton and Denton by-election is between the Green Party, led by Zach Polanski, and the Reform Party. The Greens are reporting that support for Labour has collapsed on the doorstep. Labour is terrified of the Greens. Not an exaggeration. In the Times newspaper, they printed this. A reform win would be terrible, said a sometime advisors for leadership, but a green win would be existential. Damn straight. Let's call this, catchily, Caerphillyisation. Caerphilly is, of course, the Welsh constituency where there was a by-election back in October. This is a seat Labour has only ever won. Back in 1931, Labour's almost wiped out in the country, but they still kept Caerphilly. Do you know what they got this time? 11% of the vote. Plaid Cymru won that seat on an unashamedly left-wing platform. The pundits said that it was in the bag for the Reform Party. Plaid presented themselves as the only real alternative to Reform, and the good people of Caerphilly voted for them, and they won by a decent margin over Reform. The Green Party need to emulate the approach of Plaid Cymru in Gorton and Denton. They need to say to Labour voters, do you really want to vote for a party which clobbers pensioners and disabled people, which sucks up to Donald Trump, which is complicit in Israel's genocide, and which has just been more of the same shit the Tories subjected the country to for so many years? A party who's got no answers to the country's problems. And now Suella Braverman is the latest Tory to defect to Reform. The Greens can say that Reform is just Rishi Sunak's cabinet, the government you kicked out, just led by Nigel Farage this time, run by and for millionaires. You want to...
My lovely niblet, my niece, their partner, their girlfriend, posted that, she sent that to me on straight to my phone. It's not on my Discord or anything, because I said to her, just post it to my phone, just send it to me directly, and I'll decide whether to show it or not. I'll get back to her in the morning and I'll get her to post it in the Discord when she's free. Yeah. Secure Borders UK. Just those three words alone seem rather suspicious. Just saying. Not that I'm paranoid at all. I might be slightly paranoid. It's the world what does it to us. Don't get me wrong, there's I've got friends and family members who are deeply fucking paranoid. Not clinical, just a little bit more paranoid than I am. And I'm kind of paranoid. Funny that my entire life living under neoliberalism making me paranoid. Never been known, apparently. Ooh. Shouty? Children. You do not need to answer this question in any way, shape or form. What age are you? And how old be the sprogs? How old be the progeny? Again, you don't need to answer that. Carry on, Owen.
Suck up to Trump even more than Labour's already done and flog off our National Health Service. This is a massive opportunity for the Green Party to change politics, to show people they are the alternative to Reform and the Conservatives.
Holy fuck, you're damn near a boomer. Hello, elder Gen Xer, younger Gen Xer here. Hello, welcome. What the fucking... 7. My mum was knackered and she only had 3 of us. My granny was knackered, but she had 9. Mind you, in saying that, my gran was born in 1921. 7. You must be knackered, my dude. Christ. I thought my sister had it bad. She has 2. Oh! Thank you, Natok. Much appreciated. I will check that out. Thank you. Oh. Nice one, Shouty. Nice one. Having a good dad is always a good thing, obviously. My parents, my mum and dad got divorced when I was 6. Me. Mum done well. She's managed to create this based individual, which is always a good thing, because everyone needs to hear me. Obviously, because I am based. I am Scottish. I am female. Hear me roar. Roar. And obviously I'm here to watch the downfall of Labour and the Tories have already kind of collapsed anyway, so fuck it, their party's essentially dead. And it looks like Labour's going that way as well. Rejoice. Bring it on.
And that Labour voters and any voters who want actual change should vote for them. They need to throw everything at it. They need the biggest ground army possible. They need people like yourselves to travel to that seat and knock on doors. And they need to be prepared for the smear campaign coming their way, because Labour are going to, honestly, they're going to fight this in such a dirty way. They're going to throw anything they can at the Green Party. And the Greens need to constantly shift to their positive message. We're going to tax the rich to invest in...
I am going to be curating sound bites so I can create voice alerts for the channel so you can all have fun. I am up to 6 now that I need to clip from various people. I'll get their permission first. The 2 main ones, they're going to be relatively easily. That's Kev and Helena. So KF Logan 1875 on Twitch, or at Ploppy111 on the YouTubes, or Helena, which is No Justice MTG on all the platforms. Go and follow them. They are based. Kev is brummy. He is brilliant. He is as snarky as I am. Helena is cool and based and very knowledgeable and very eloquent. Everyone, go and follow them. They are awesome. And to do a little bit of self-shilling, follow your mad Scottish lass. Because, obviously, you can... Every now and again you get to see me lose my mind with certain politicians, be them Labour, Tory or Lib Dem. Or Reform even. Easy pickings really at this point. They make it easy for us leftists at this right now. Because, obviously... Not that leftists like me get proven correct every fucking day of our lives. Never been known. Praise be. I love Ortorata. One of my mum's friends lives there. I've been in Ortorata. Her house is rather good. It is a 4-bedroom house. She has a large garden, and right over her fence, guess what? It might be a golf course. I think you know what one that might be. I've actually played a round of golf there now. My God, the membership fees for Glen Eagles are bloody expensive. My uncle's a member. He owns his own business. He's a painter and decorator. He has spare cash. He has a rather good set of golf clubs, actually. His handicap's quite good as well. On you go, lovely uncle. That's my mum's younger brother, by the way.
Public services. We're going to have public ownership of our services. We're going to stand up to Donald Trump. We're going to have a foreign policy based on peace. We're going to use the climate emergency to invest in the jobs of the future, to improve the living standards of the people of this country. We could go on. Because Labour sunk. It's over for them. The question is what comes next. Do we have a politics of despair and hatred?
Nice one. Cool.
Do we have a message of hope instead? Well, I think if the Greens can pull this off, and they're going to have, as I've said, everything thrown at them, that could change everything in this country. So, if that's what you invested in, go and help if you can. Please like and subscribe. Help us take on the awful media ecosystem in this country at patreon.com/ownjones84. I'm finishing my book, The Fall of the West, as I keep saying, which will be out in October. But when I finish that, which is in a few weeks, we'll concentrate far more on this channel. We're going to go up, for example, to Gorton Denton and speak to the good people there, which will be fascinating. So more of that soon. You make all of that possible, as I've said, at patreon.com/ownjones84. Share the video, press like, subscribe, leave your comments, always read those. I'll speak to you in a bit.
Ooh.
Elon Musk, Tommy Robinson, all the rest of it, they like to push this message that there are a group of people in society who are sponging, who are taking whilst everybody else works. They're breaking the system, they're getting away with things that nobody else can. And I nod in absolute agreement, because I think there is undoubtedly a group of people who seem to get away with things that the rest of us can't. And those people are migrants, they're not trans people, they're not whichever other group is the current scapegoat, they're not Muslims, they're not people who've come here fleeing war and persecution and whatever else they need to come to get safety. They're not people who've moved here for economic reasons, to work in our NHS, to do those absolutely vital roles that we need doing. The people who've broken our country are the billionaires and the super, super rich.
Yes.
Elon Musk, Tommy Robinson, all the rest of it, they like to push this message that there are a group of people in society.
It was difficult to mobilize people, for the political movements and things like that. How did you find?
So when I'd got involved, I think some of the social distancing was sort of coming to an end, even though the pandemic was still kind of really happening. A lot of vulnerable people that are still really facing a lot of risk from infections like COVID now. I simply just got involved by contacting my local Green Party. I took a stack of leaflets, went out delivering. A few weeks later, we did get someone elected in the local election, so it felt like what we'd done had contributed. And then 6 months after that, I was asked to stand as a councillor. 6 months after that, I was elected onto Trafford Council. The following year, I stood as the Greater Manchester candidate for mayor for the Green Party. The following year, I was the leader of Trafford Council of the Greens, which is a big sort of step up for me. And then most recently, I've been appointed as the spokesperson for migration and refugee support. So it's all stuff that I haven't ever done before, but that's really important to me, that people from all backgrounds and all areas of life come and do something, because we've all got experience and we've all got stories to bring to the table. So everything I've done, I've thoroughly enjoyed, even if it's been really new to me.
It was difficult to mobilize people, for the political movements and things like that. How did you find?
So when I'd got involved, I think some of the social distancing was sort of coming to an end, even though the pandemic was still kind of really happening. A lot of vulnerable people that are still really facing a lot of risk from infections like COVID now. But yeah, I simply just got involved by contacting my local Green Party. I took a stack of leaflets, went out delivering. A few weeks later, we did get someone elected in the local election, so it felt like what we'd done had contributed. And then 6 months after that, I was asked to stand as a councillor. 6 months after that, I was elected onto Trafford Council. The following year, I stood as the Greater Manchester.
Hello, my name's Ed Paul. I'm a member of the Green Party, and we currently have our national executive elections, and I'm speaking to candidates for the various different positions. Today I'm speaking to Hannah Spencer, who is standing to be local party support coordinator. Yes, that's right. Hi, Hannah.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Why did you join the Green Party, and why do you think other people should?
If I think back sort of throughout my life, I've always tried to do different things that ultimately address some of the inequalities in the world, whether that's volunteering or even things like my job. For those who don't know, I'm a plumber, and it's an industry that there is very, very few women in. So putting my time into things that I think might help address
No, this is Ed Pool, not Ed Balls. People's opinion of Ed Balls. If you want to, feel free to post your opinion of Ed Balls. Ed Balls is Ed Balls. You have to remember he is married to Yvette Cooper. I don't know how to accurately describe how that reflects on him. Please remember he is a politician and he was Shadow Chancellor at one point in his political career. Need I say more? Right. These Blairite bastards, I wish they'd all just fuck off. Give me a moment. We need someone here. Mr. Debr is gone. Angel.
some of the inequalities. Never was political, particularly until COVID, when the pandemic hit. And I realised at that point it was so obvious that a lot of the things that were happening to us were as a result of politics and politicians mainly looking after themselves, while the rest of us were really trying to muck in, keep each other safe, keep the world turning. there was a select few and who just seemed to be either getting away with things, as we found out later, or getting wealthier off the back of it. And we saw that gap grow even wider between those who've got a lot and those who've not got very much. And I saw then that that pattern is just replicated all the time, and it's going to happen again as the climate crisis deepens. Like, that inequality is going to get worse, because those of us that have got a bit less are the ones who end up taking the hit, really, and those that are some of the wealthiest people in society always seem to do okay. And I thought, actually, if we had a different set of people in politics making those decisions, people who look like us and sound like us, maybe things would be a bit different. So I wanted to get more involved. I joined the Greens for loads of different reasons. One of the big things is because our policy is made by us as members, so there were things that I wasn't that sure about. And I thought, well, that's okay, because we can change those. And I'm a big believer in no political party is perfect. I think you've got to kind of, that phrase of you've got to get on the bus that takes you the closest to where you're going. But the last thing was actually that Greens were winning. And when I contacted my local party before I even became a member, it was just to get involved. And, you know, a month after I got involved with the elections and we won. So I was like, actually, this is something that if I can put my time into, I'm going to get something out of it. And so that was really important to me too. It didn't just seem like a party of well-meaning people who were just daydream. It was like this group of people who want change and are actually going out and getting it. So that's why I decided to join the Greens. And I'd urge anybody who is feeling like I was, quite upset, quite angry, quite lost and unsure about what's going to happen, to join the Green Party, to get on board with us and help build this movement that is starting.
What do you think of the Green Party electoral strategy known as Target to Win?
I think it's hard to deny its success. I think that's really clear, that it's been a really good way of helping us to roll out a strategy that has seen us get a huge increase in councillors across England and Wales. I think, like anything, you kind of have to leave some bits to the imagination too. You've got to be a bit flexible. It's brilliant to use it as the main guide to what you're doing, but I think you've got to be willing to deviate sometimes when it feels right, and especially to keep things varied, to try and attract new members, and just to make things a bit fun and have a go at trying new things. And I often find that, I know when I joined, I had loads of ideas that weren't in Target to Win and that maybe wouldn't have worked, but that enthusiasm that I had was a big thing that I was bringing. And you see that across the party, like new people come, whether they're new to politics or from a different party, that enthusiasm, that energy that they're bringing, we need to do something with. And sometimes that doesn't always fit into Target to Win. Sometimes it needs to be channeled into other ways. So I think we need to bear that in mind when we're thinking about how we use Target to Win. And Target to Win is always developing. Like, the version that we've got now isn't the version that came out, because people have tried and tweaked and done different things and worked out what works and what doesn't. And I think the role that I've gone for on GPEX, the local party,
it has to be moulded and adapted to whatever constituency and whatever part of the country they're in. Up here in Scotland, down in England, parts of Wales, in Wales, and in Northern Ireland as well, or as I call it, Ireland. You have to mould it to what the mood is like in the constituency itself, whether it's a general election, obviously big time election, obviously general election, blah blah blah, or a local by-election, or like council elections or things of that nature. You have to mould your strategy to the constituency. It's about basically forming a good narrative, being able to reach out to people, saying this is our policy on blah 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 blah. So it's different for all the different parts. Obviously, we can talk to other parts of the country, either in GP or GPEX, or up here with the GSEX, the Scottish Green Executive, essentially. it has to be moulded to wherever they are running, obviously. Because we're not a monolith. There's many different strands to society here in the UK, obviously. So it has to be moulded and in some aspects targeted. So it's a balancing act, essentially. That's why GPU, Green Party of England Wales, Scottish Green Party as well, we all talk, we all have our input, we all get listened to, we all get consideration given to us, which is always a good thing. Being able to listen and adopt to what the party membership is saying, either here to Glasgow Green Branch, Perth, Aberdeen, wherever, Edinburgh, fucking Dumfries, down in Dumfriesshire and stuff like that. So yeah, you mould your message saying we'll do blah 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 for this constituency, for this area, this council ward, whatever. So kind of like a balancing act and being able to reach out to people. I'm here for that. I want to be able to communicate our message coherently and with enthusiasm to bring more people in. Which is good. Base building. It works. It is awesome.
Party support role is because I spend quite a lot of my time travelling around to a lot of different local parties, and so it's interesting to see and learn like how they interpret Target to Win and what they're doing and which bits they do and which they don't do, and it'd be really good to be able to feed that back directly onto GPEX to say this is what local parties are telling us and this is what we need to listen to. So broadly, I think it's a really good thing. I think it definitely works, but I think there's always got to be a bit of room for a bit of creativity and a bit of fun.
What's your feelings on electoral pacts?
Not keen, if I'm honest. I think it would have to be something quite amazing in terms of the benefits it would bring for me to be convinced that it's a good idea. I'd always be open-minded. However, I'm sort of the view that voters know themselves who they want to vote for, and it is almost like some of the suggestions that we hear, us as Greens are always expected to step aside for whoever it is. It's always us that's expected to step aside. And I think it's almost quite offensive to not give that choice to a voter, to say that we're going to make that decision for you, so that you're not going to have certain options on the ballot. I can see maybe there might be a time when it would work, but it would have to be a really, really strong reason. Other than that, I think we need to put forward what we have and ultimately let voters decide, because voters in all their forms are intelligent enough and capable enough of picking the candidate that they believe in, and it's up to us to give them the options and for them to ultimately decide who they want to vote for.
How do we make a bigger impact in the media?
Whilst it's undoubtedly true that we don't get the same media attention as other parties, even parties that are smaller than us seem to get more attention. Actually, we know that certainly my background and a lot of the people I know don't consume their politics through mainstream media. So we might notice that we're never on Newsnight or we're never on Question Time or all the other things, but actually a lot of the people I know aren't watching them and they're not getting their information from them. So for me, I think we need to think hard about how we reach those communities and those people that aren't quite hearing our message yet. Social media comes into that. That's a really big piece. Again, the local party support role, I think, could be developed more into helping local parties think about how they reach people on social media. And I think our message just needs to be a bit clearer. Zach's done a brilliant job at making it really clear what we offer, because it's not complex. Some of the things that we're offering is like common sense. And if we can message that the right way to people who need us, and that's people who are tired, exhausted, not always able to follow politics as closely as we all do. They're the voters that are waiting for us as a choice. And if we can make sure that our aims and our ambitions and our policies are straightforward and easy to understand, I think that will help to get our message across.
How do we attract more non-white members and voters to the Green Party?
In some ways, it feels as though like we don't have as much of a problem as attracting people who aren't white, but it's keeping them and making them feel like their experiences and their contributions are valid, and trusting people to tell their own story and to work in their communities, because the people who live in their communities tend to know their community best. And about being willing to be flexible and changing what we do to allow people to go out and work with their communities in a way that maybe we couldn't. I think one of our councillors in Greater Manchester, Hanif, is a really good example of he's worked so hard in his community, he's so well known, and what he did to get elected was phenomenal. Like, he worked so hard, he did things that I've never done before with being elected or the campaigns that we run, and I was like, it's vital for us to listen to what he did, because his experience is totally different to mine, and some things he did, if I did them, wouldn't work, and vice versa. But it was like, he's got all this experience that we really, really need to listen to, and there's loads of people like Hanif up and down the country, and I think that's the key thing. It's like knowing that I do think people are coming to us for a lot of different reasons, but we need to welcome them and make them feel valued and listen to what they're telling us.
How can the Green Party assure disabled people that we're listening to them?
I think we do a lot of really, really important work in our disabled groups and the policy working groups. I know that have done a lot of campaigning on some of the issues that we've seen just in the last year alone. So on personal independence payments, on the assisted dying bills. We're lucky to have a lot of people in the party who have that lived experience and who are willing to give their time to developing our policy and making it better. Thinking about our campaigning and how we reach those communities, things like where door knocking is great, because often we are literally going out and meeting people who are disabled, who might not ever get the chance to speak to people in local government or politics at all. So being able to go out and physically hear from them and speak to them is really important. However, I'm conscious that going back to Target to Win, not really there yet in terms of making sure that there is stuff that anybody of any ability can do, because there's still quite a heavy focus on actually going out and doing the physical work, which just isn't possible for everybody, and there shouldn't be that expectation that you have to do that to be involved, because as we've talked a bit before about, you know, social media and all the rest of it, there's a lot of different things that people can do to contribute. And so I think it would be really good, again, one of the things I'd like to do as local party support would be to speak to local parties who are struggling with that, to find different things to offer people and share that advice and guidance on how people welcome disabled people, because as much as it's good going out and listening to people, actually we need more disabled people in politics. They're really underrepresented at decision making in local government and at a national level too. And so I think if we can make those tweaks to what we're doing to sort of make it a bit easier for people to come in and join us and contribute, then that would go a really long way to actually seeing positive change for people in our society who are disabled.
How should we handle transphobia in the Green Party?
I'm really clear. I'm really proud of our policies supporting our trans siblings. I firmly believe that trans men are men and trans women are women, and I want this to always be a safe place where people can be themselves. I don't think there's any room at all for any members who make this place somewhere where anybody feels threatened or unsafe. I think we have very clear rules and very clear guidelines to deal with people who break those rules. Something that worries me a bit is something I've seen recently in a couple of internal elections, where I've seen full slates of names of people, all labelled gender critical, all labelled transphobic, and I know that some of those individuals absolutely aren't, and an effect of that is that people are less likely to put their names forward to stand for election. and sometimes they're people from backgrounds that we really need to hear from. So I think we need to be a bit better at challenging that, because there seems to be sometimes unfair or false links between people who are suddenly sort of termed transphobic or gender critical when they're absolutely not. I think one thing that always disappoints me, and I've spoken about this in many forms in my role as a counsellor in council, is the scapegoating of individuals. It seems to be whichever group they pick out of a hat that day to decide whose fault everything, where the blame lies, and we've seen it be trans people for too long. And there's absolutely no link or no evidence to gender-based violence or the genuine threats that women and girls face in this society every day. There is no link or suggestion that it's trans people that are causing that, and yet they seem to be the ones that are blamed for everything. And it really worries me that we just see that conversation be about trans people when actually the conversation needs to be, who is it that's the real threat to women and girls in society, and what are we going to do to get rid of that? So I'm always proud to say that I very much support the trans people in our party, and I want more to join. And I think it needs to be a place where we can learn from each other. Like I've learned loads in some of the groups that I'm in about all different things, trans people's access to healthcare, like the problems that they face. I've learned all that because they've been kind enough to share that experience, and they're only here doing that because there's a lot of us who are making it a safe place for them, and I want to make sure it continues to be that safe place.
How important is social and economic class in politics?
Incredibly important. If we go back to COVID, although there's been loads of other times where it's obvious, and we think about the people who were making decisions, I do think the outcomes could have been a lot different if we'd have been having decisions made by people from a broader range in society. We think about certain jobs, like bus drivers, for example, had a much higher rate of dying from COVID, and I really doubt there were many people in government who were either had been a bus driver themselves or knew people that were. And whether that's cleaners or supermarket staff, all these really vital roles that we have and we absolutely cannot live without, as we saw during the pandemic, are underrepresented at every level. I talk quite a lot, and I did it in council last week at one of our full council meetings, the fact that 2/3 of adults in the UK don't have a degree. And when we think about MPs, I think at the last count is about 85% of MPs have a degree, and 20% of those went to Oxford or Cambridge. Now those figures aren't really representative of what society looks like. We're missing a huge group of people who've not been down that path. And it's that thing of if you don't see people in those roles, you never think that you can be one. And I think it's our time really to make sure that we have people in key positions in the Green Party who are showing that you do not need a particularly high level of academic education. You don't need to have a very deep understanding of politics or a degree in politics, anything like that. Those things are really helpful and really interesting, but they're absolutely not a necessity, because I really just think we're not going to see that level of change unless we start bringing in people and having a full selection of people around the table making decisions.
What other issues are important to you?
I touched on it before, but gender-based violence is a huge issue. It's an epidemic that is not taken seriously at all in this country. Whether that's things like underfunding of refuges and safe spaces for women who are victims of domestic violence, what we teach in schools to young people about healthy relationships, the justice system, e.g. the discrepancy in sentencing for people. If you're a woman that's murdered by your partner in your own home, your partner is going to receive a shorter sentence than if they murdered you on the street. There's just this acceptance somehow that violence in the home is just a little bit more tolerable than anywhere else. That is something I think we can impact through our MPs at local government level, speaking a bit more about it in council. a huge issue is Palestine for so many reasons, not least the human cost that we are seeing. We're watching undeniably a genocide right in front of us, and we're watching our government almost ignore it. They're just pandering, I think, and not giving any sort of indication that what we're all seeing is going to end, or they're going to condemn it. The Green Party's had a very strong record at calling it a genocide, at saying what we would do, the sanctions that we would impose on the Israeli government. We've done that for a really, really long time. And it's like no one else can see it in government. I think it's really interesting and stark to see things like how we've seen Palestine Action now described as a terrorist organisation in the same week that we saw groups of MPs
Based. Hannah, I love you. That is amazing. Yes. Scottish Green Party members are the same, by the way. It is a genocide. It is. And gender-based violence needs to be dealt with. It does.
Dress as suffragettes and celebrate that history, which is so important to me because I am really proud. There's a lot of roots of suffragettes everywhere, but in Greater Manchester particularly, we have a really proud history of the suffragettes, and I know a lot of the things that I can do as a woman now are solely down to the actions of those people. But my goodness, those suffragettes were feral. They were burning down buildings. They were doing so much that absolutely was condemned at the time, but is recognised now as having got us where we are. And I find it so upsetting and so appalling that the government can take strong action against a group that is campaigning.
What be current temperature? Na talk. Were you one of the states that got hit, by the way? I saw that map and I can't quite remember if you were getting hit as well. No, like from the Canadian border, so New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, all the way down the eastern seaboard, down into the Sun Belt and parts of the Midwest as well. Holy fuck, that map looked, for lack of a polite word, fucked. Like my comrade, CG, my darling, can you hear me? She is currently in Roanoke in Virginia, and it was getting battered. Pauvre disgust. Oh, fucking hell. Stay in the house if you can. If you need to leave, wrap up warm. Layers and layers. Try to stick to natural fibres that actually sit next to the skin. So like any sort of like tank top, t-shirt, try and keep it natural fibres, cotton, linen, silk, if you can afford silk. So cotton and linen would be the easiest ones close to the skin. Then like long sleeves and brushed cotton as well, like a shirt or something, natural fibre trousers and stuff. Don't get me wrong, man-made fibres do work, they do, but the cheaper polyester man-made fibres, the petrochemical fibres essentially, they've not got good wicking properties, which means we sweat. Obviously, us humans, we sweat. We expel things through our skin. Try not to use too many man-made fibres because they don't wick as much. They don't let the skin breathe and shed off the things that we sweat out of our bodies. So natural fibres is best. Oddly enough, man-made fibres to cover the extremities, the fingies and the tootsies, they're quite good. Good well-fitting footwear as well, mostly boots, obviously. Trainers as well if you wish, or sneakers. And to my high heel wearers out there, try to keep your heels to a minimum. Wear boots, wear knee highs if you can, and if you like, if you buy them, try to buy leather. I get it. The leather industry, they garbage, horrible, they deeply bad for the environment. Obviously, I get that, but leather boots are quite good, especially in horrible, cold, frosty, wind-driven bollocks weather. Trust me, I know. I've experienced it many times in my life here in Scotland. It sucks. Cold weather can go and do one. Not that I haven't have a chance to change it, obviously. Yeah. I love my country. I just don't love the weather that much at times. So yes, natural fibres is best, but try and layer up, and a good heavy coat if it's going to be like driving wind coming primarily for the continental states itself, coming down from Canada and the Arctic. Horrible cold, either deeply moisture laden, which just literally saps the energy out of you, or cold driving winds, which basically chills the surface layers, dries out the skin. Need to use more moisturiser. Oh, fuck that noise. That's like -4. Give me a minute, I'll actually check. I'm losing my chat off my phone for a second. Convert 12 Fahrenheit to Celsius. I was wrong. -11? Fuck that. Nope. Fuck that noise. Nah talk. Layer up. Warming food. Hot chocolate. Try to keep caffeine intake to a minimum, and that includes your soda or pop or whatever you call it. Fizzy drinks, essentially. Keep caffeine to a minimum. Hot chocolate, soups, stews, curries, things of that nature. Warm the core, keep the extremities covered. Try to minimise going outside if you can. Obviously not always possible for everyone. But yeah, -11 can go and do one. The coldest I've had to deal with is -18, and that can go and fuck itself. That was up in Perth, by the way. The coldest I've experienced here in Glasgow is -12. And that can go and do one as well. Ugh. And that was cold winds coming from the east, essentially, so from Europe. All the way across the steppe in Russia and across Europe, straight into Scotland. And we also get ones coming down from the Arctic, coming down, and ones coming from the east. Yeah, that sucks. I don't like it at all. Just fuck off. Nah. -11 can fuck off, essentially. Yeah. And I can hear people in certain parts of the globe saying, -11, you pussies. Yes, some of us aren't built for those kind of temperatures, thank you. I get it, Canada. You get below that as well. But, yeah, some of us aren't built for it. We might experience it. Doesn't mean we're going to fucking like it. Some of us actively struggle to deal with that sort of nonsense. Ugh.
To make people aware of a genocide. I'm sure I have to be very, very careful about how I say that and say that. I don't support Palestine action, but I support people taking action to highlight the injustice and the genocide that is currently taking place at the hands of the Israeli government. Another issue I really care about, and I'm working on a lot within the party, along with some other brilliant individuals, is gambling.
Think of your mad Scottish lass creating a mosh pit all by her lonesome in her flat. Basically headbanging her way through the Fear Factory. Or Corn, if you wish. That keeps me on. I like dancing. Not that I can do it that well anymore because of my joints issue, essentially. Fuck it. I still do dance around the house like a loon, but nah. I do so like my dancing. I really do.
There's a lot of things that kind of opened my eyes along the way about why we have such differences in a lot of the places that we live. I've lived in places where we've had like bookie after bookie after bookie on a high street in areas where like there's a lot of deprivation, and then I've lived in other areas where, you know, it's not as deprived and we have a longer life expectancy and there's no bookies. And I know people access gambling through more means than going into a high street betting shop, but the lack of regulation on gambling in this country is an absolute joke, and it's linked very much to political parties, successive governments doing absolutely nothing, doing the bare minimum, not recognising gambling as the public health crisis that it is, taking money from the industry itself. That's an area there's a really strong link to lobbying.
I was just going to point that out, but Hannah's mentioned it. Well said, Hannah. Yes, some gambling companies actually donate to both Tory and Labour. Fun. They probably donate to Reform as well. Yes. That's why these laws don't get changed. God forbid they should impact anyone that donates to the party.
And the harm that's caused to individuals and to a society as a whole just seems to be something that we accept. Obviously I would have come on to talk about my greyhounds anyway, but they've come up now. But that was how I really...
Rejoice! Vitingale. Everyone go and follow Vitingale. She is awesome. Hello, my dear. Vitingale is lurking in the void. Look out for the tardigrades, my dear. You lurk with love all you want, my darling. I will say again, everyone go and follow Vitingale. Trombone Tuesday later on, isn't it, my darling? Vitingale is awesome and an absolutely amazing musician. Hello.
Saw a lot of things about it, like the things that I saw. It's not just the harm to the animals; it's the harm to the humans. Like I've had people in my life who have suffered really badly with gambling addictions, and I just think the way that people are chewed up and spat out by gambling companies, with their CEOs taking millions and millions and millions in pounds in pay, is absolutely appalling. And I know if we had a Green government, that would look totally different. I'll come, as I said then, to my greyhounds, because even though our policy has changed, I'm really proud that we're still working to drive that issue up in Parliament. I've just spoken today with some of our MPs who are, there's an early day motion going in about greyhound racing, looking to ban it, because the stats that have come out recently have shown yet again that the industry is just failing to take any sort of steps to keeping greyhounds safe. Like, that's not something that they're interested in. So it's really like uplifting to see an issue that I've cared about for so long and that our members clearly care about too. We are actually able to make change on, and it comes back against that thing of like, that was the thing that when I joined the Green Party, that was the policy that I was like, this isn't quite where I want it to be. And it wasn't awful, it was just a bit dated really. And it was when I met Zach, and one of the first conversations he had with me, he does this so often with so many people. He's like, of course you can change that policy, like, I'll back you, like, we'll do it, we'll get it through. And it was a long process, as it should be, there's a lot of steps to go through, but yeah, last year at conference we stood up and we passed that policy, and now we're the first political party across England and Wales to call for a ban. And that's incredible, because that's our process and our democracy that's done that. And it just shows that we can be the ones pushing in Parliament. We have 4 MPs at the moment. We would absolutely love to have more, but just having a Green in the room sometimes can make the biggest difference. So yeah, and I will give you an exclusive here, Ed. Forrest, the greyhound, that some of you may remember me posting on social media and being absolutely adamant that Forrest was just going to be a foster, like, he's just going to be a foster, blah, 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 blah. Well, of course, Forrest is now a permanent member of family. So I'm now the very proud and very tired housemate to 4 greyhounds. So yes, that's an exclusive for you, Ed. You can splash that absolutely everywhere. I know that everybody will be dying to know what has happened to Forrest. So yes, Forrest the greyhound is staying, and he's looking for a new name, and he's probably going to be named after one of our wonderful lionesses. So I will be sure to make sure everybody finds out what his name becomes, probably after the final on Sunday.
Brilliant. So you've got room for a couple more, though, haven't you?
A few more greyhounds.
Yeah.
I think so. Sometimes I look at the front room and I'm like, I can see 2 spaces there, and we don't like to see beds go empty. And so yeah, I think I would definitely like to have more greyhounds. I don't know at what point it teeters into becoming an obsession that someone actually needs to step in and say, you need to stop having greyhounds. Probably 4.
Maybe, yeah. Why do you think we should vote for you, and what will you do if you're elected?
I would love to have the honour of representing people at local party level at GPEX. I don't think the role, being blunt, is fully used to the best way it could be at the moment. The reason a lot of people encourage me to stand for this role is because in many senses I basically do it anyway. I've touched before on how I spend so much of my time, so much of my weekends going visiting so many local parties at varying levels, like parties that are just starting up with 3 or 4 members and are just getting out and starting to learn how they're going to do something, to much more established parties where they, are in control of their council and that kind of thing. Like it's a whole range of things that I've been able to do, and it's been brilliant for me because it's given me a lot of experience and knowledge that I've brought back to my own local party and that I've shared around us. But also it's given me that oversight really of seeing like what things keep coming up that people are struggling with, and so in many senses, like, I feel as if I'm sort of already doing most of the role anyway. I just don't have that facility to feed it directly to the people on GPEX who are most likely able to do something with that information. I think it would be good to see more diversity at different levels in the party. As I say, I've become quite proud now of maybe not having the same educational level as a lot of other people, even though for a long time it's been something that I've maybe not been proud of or I've tried to hide. But I think it's important to have that at a level where we can start to challenge things that are quite confusing in the party. I think there's some things that, even though we do our best, like could be simplified and could be made a lot easier to understand, because sharing that knowledge to more people is going to make us stronger. And I think that is an important part of the role. I've shown that I can work really well with different people at different levels. I'm the group leader of my Green Party on Trafford Council at the moment. I've been a councillor for 2 years, and yeah, we work together in the best way that we can. And I think I've got those skills and that experience to take to GPEX and try and see how much we can do working together and focusing on things and trying to get change shifted, because that's what we as members want and need. We need to see an increase now in our movement so that we can get more people elected and reach more of the communities that need to hear from us.
I'll be back before the end of this song. 2 minutes, please.
I love to tick you off. Something in my psychosis finds it a little hard. I always got good intentions. You tell me I saved your life, but I'm craving your attention, and you know that I got 2 sides. I'll be the villain tonight. I kinda like when you despise me after we fight. Feels so much better when I'm pushing all your buttons till you're crawling on the floor. You say you hate my guts, but you're still coming back for more. I know that you get jealous, so I play the fantasy. I know that you can tell when everyone looks at me. Some of my favorite moments usually start with tears. Swear that you'll pull me closer whenever we flirt with fear. I'll be the villain tonight. I kinda like when you despise me after we fight. Feels so much better when I'm pushing all your buttons till you're crawling on the floor. You say you hate my guts, but you're still coming back for more. I'll be the villain, the villain, the villain, the villain. I'll be the villain, the villain, the villain, the villain. What's you and I without a little pain? Tastes bittersweet each time you say my name. If love was poison, we would drink it anyways. Feels so good playing these wicked little games. I'll be the villain tonight. I kind of like when you despise me after we fight. Feels so much better when I'm pushing all your buttons till you're crawling on the floor. You say you hate my guts, but you're still coming back for more. I'll be the villain, the villain, the villain, the villain. I'll be the villain, the villain, the villain, the villain.
Hey everybody, it's John from The Cog is Dead. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to support the music and get early access to every new song and video, then become a patron at patreon.com/thecogisdead.
There is a hell at the bottom of the valley, where all the poor souls go when they die. If you listen real close, you can hear them like a ghost, saying you're never gonna make it out alive.
There is a town at the bottom of the hill. They got a secret that they keep like a slave. They got
There we go. The actual one. Rejoice, comrade. Socked now. Aw, you're welcome, Nightingale. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. We're getting all the good based people. Rejoice, Puerto Rican comrade. Sock now. Hello, Sock now. How goes it? You're not getting hit. You're not getting hit by this bollocks weather, are you? You're scared of... Oh, my friend. Can I help? You can jump into the Discord and I can bring you on and we can talk, if you want. Or we can talk here. Poor man's poisoned because this song absolutely fucking rocks.
They all laughed as they turned around slow. They said, you ain't welcome around here anymore. You just might as well go. You wiped the blood from his face as he slowly came to his knees. You said, I'll be back when you least expect it. Hell's coming with me. Hell's coming with me. There is a hill at the bottom of the valley, where all the poor souls go when they die. You listen real, you hear them like a ghost. You're never gonna make it out alive. There is a town at the bottom of that hill. They got a secret like the keys, like a safe. They got a black magic picture, and a bullet picture. Heading up that hill to the grave. And it is well with my soul. Your pocket's full of money, and you steal from the poor all your way. If you ring that bell, I pay the devil twice to keep your soul. There was a drifter passing through that little valley. He had promised he was coming back to town. They didn't know him by his face or by the gun around his waist. But he come back to burn that town to the ground. First there was fire, then there was smoke. Then that preacher man was hanging by a rope. And then they all fell to their knees and begged that drifter, begged him please, as he raised his fist for his spoke. I am the righteousness of God, and I am the devil that you forgot. And I told you one day
Yeah, I'm scared out of
Hello,
my
Sim.
mind. Yeah, I'm scared out of my mind because I heard from my parents. My parents told me that we are moving, but we don't know where. And I don't want to go to the States. I really don't want to go to the States.
I don't blame
Especially
you.
especially in this moment, I don't want to go. I'd rather go to St. Croix, which is Virgin Islands. I'd rather go anywhere on the island, specifically somewhere near San Juan. But to go to the US while there is ice out there, nah. Nah, 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 nah. Nope. That is why I'm scared. And I am up because I cannot seem to rest. My brain is with so many different thoughts. So many different thoughts.
This is where
And
This is where Sock now wants to go. Can you see that? Can you see the screen I'm sharing?
yeah, I can see it.
Oh, that looks
St. Croix,
That looks
St.
beautiful.
Croix, St. Croix, the reason why I brought that up is because the church there, because my parents are pastors, the church there is just a concrete slab. One of the hurricanes came through and broke the entire building because it was wooden.
Oh
It
dear.
was a wooden structure. And I don't know why the church bought it wooden, but they did. And now it's just a concrete slab.
When was it bought? I might be able to give a little bit of insight. Do you know when it was bought?
It was
depends.
bought. It was bought in the 90s. It was bought in the 90s. It was bought in the 90s.
I was waiting for you to say like between the wars or just before the first, you know, like the 1910s to like the 1930s.
No. Yeah, 1990s. Yeah.
Bloody hell! Why was this still made out of wood?
It was bought from the Methodists that were having their own newer building, but they gave it to our church, and it broke down. It had so many different other issues with it before. They had to leave. They had to leave for a while to clean it up of asbestos and mold issues.
Christ almighty.
Then when they went in, they only had like a month in it. and
Bloody hell.
It broke. So it was because there was laws being changed for asbestos issues, and they had to keep up with that. And
you do, yeah,
then it didn't work out. It was just a crappy building.
Oh, Christ's sake.
And
see, I take my churches, which is there's a distinction here. It is a chapel, Roman Catholic, or it's a church, Protestant or Methodist or Baptist.
Yeah, this is Methodist related.
Methodist. Right.
Yeah.
So they are,
So
as far as Scotland and parts of England are concerned, they are churches. It starts changing slightly below the northeast of England. They all just get called church, but up here there's a distinction, chapel, because for many centuries we were basically Catholic. Scotland was Catholic.
Yes.
So the Reformation didn't go well for us, essentially. Let's put it like that.
But the church.
Why did they leave it so? Oh Christ!
Well, you know that they don't care. They just want a problem off their shoulders to get money
Yeah.
and then work on something else.
See, that's deeply cynical. That's deeply cynical, in my opinion. That's just
But
what.
but my parents, my father had to deal with a building project here. And he's been dealing with church building projects for a while. And I don't think that's going to change.
Christ, he must be knackered.
So he's tired of it. He's tired of it.
Did he blame him?
But and he'd rather just be teaching. He wants to teach. He wants to teach. And he has a master's in divinity, and he wants to do the more academic type stuff.
Cool.
But
I appreciate that. I hope your dad enjoys what he does.
He does and he doesn't.
He doesn't. He
does and he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I just
if they were to move to the States themselves proper, what state do you think it would be?
There are a few states, because of the type of ministry my parents have done. They've done both English and Spanish ministry. And my mom did one church for the interpretation of the deaf. She knows sign language.
Oh.
So she did one ministry thing on that. But she does that. But we've been in Latin ministry for 3 churches.
Wow.
And one church for the interpretation of the deaf, and the rest has been like English ministry.
Oh, cool.
But just been an issue because of the stuff with my father and me and ICE. It's just going to be problematic, and I don't want to go back there. I'd rather stay somewhere on the island. I wish that the people in, the higher ups can have some rationality and be,
Don't we all? Yeah.
I don't think we know how churches are.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
But it's just not it. But I think there is a chance to go to San Juan, but it is slim. Unless
Would you rather stay where you are?
No, I wouldn't want to stay here in this small town that I'm in. Because there's no resources. There's really no resources for people here. Because the United States, we're a colony of the United States. We don't have all the stuff that there would be like in the States. That doesn't exist here. In smaller towns.
Yeah. Hang on, you know what I'll do? I assume that your channel's got clips.
Hmm?
I assume that your channel's got clips.
Clips? What do you mean, clips?
Yeah. No, your chatter's clipping you when you're doing your stream.
Oh, I do have clips?
Give me a second. I will bring up Sock now, everyone. So we can see Sock now, or listen to him. Sock now. I've got that right, you're he, him, aren't you?
Yeah. I don't know if I have clips on my channel.
Is that you?
Mm-hmm.
Is that you here?
That's my name on there. Yeah, yep, that's me.
Everyone go and follow Sock now. They're awesome. Did it? Ooh. Videos?
I don't think I have clips. I just
you don't.
show who I stream.
What?
Videos, no. I don't put. I took some of my videos down because there was drama in Discord on like people like talking smack, you know what I mean, about me.
Yeah.
And I just said no. Let me just remove that. But I just do streams while I'm walking and showing, and sharing my thoughts.
I like that. You're really quite good. You're really quite good, by the way.
I don't like and I don't have the ability to do streaming because my computer is shot, but I could just do streaming that way on my phone, and that's better. I think people need to hear the thoughts rather than like seeing something that looks inauthentic. Certain streams you see on Twitch, they're just like, they have all the marketing, but the personality doesn't show that it's authentic, that they're not real enough. Like, they have all the stuff, but it's not like for instance, you have Keycraft, which is a gamer. He's not necessarily political. He's just a gamer, and he does roadblocks and stuff like that, and
cool.
He has all the marketing, but boy, he's very arrogant. He's very arrogant. He's not like
Well, quite
one
a
of
lot.
those he's not one of those gamers that is like memeing about like how good they are. Like he's like really he really thinks he's all that. And I'm like, can you just share that you're joking and allow other people to be proud of themselves? But no, it's like he wants to be like, yeah. But anyway, it's just
Would you like to put
it
on a
just
video?
weighs on my mind. It
Would
just
you like to?
weighs on my mind, this situation.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't blame you for feeling like that. I really don't. I get like that as well. Don't get me wrong.
The thing is I don't want to have a police or not these Nazis, with
Yeah.
guns and with their arms on my neck and like that those images come to my mind,
Yeah.
and I just don't want that.
Would you like to put on a video and you can talk? We could bring up a video that you like, or we can find one and we can talk about it if you want. I'll just type in this one, see what we can get. Pan-Hispanic movement. Oh.
Let me get this. Trying to get. Where is? Let me get my watch for later. What did I see? Oh, here's something. I want to show something that
Put it in the Discord.
Yeah.
Where be it?
Let me get it. This is something that I have been trying to get people to understand. Within the United States, and how they don't understand. This is something that I think people need to know, is like the math behind voting, which I've been doing on my end. But because there's no, and I know that voting isn't going to get us out of this in the US. It's not. Like, there's going to be tons of protests that have to happen. And it's not just going to be these two with Alex Peretti and, good. It has to be with multiple protests. Yeah, it's in European news and other wankery.
Right. It's this one right here. Ah, there we go. Right. Minimize you.
And it shows like the problem that the U.S. voting system has, and it will show you the exact problem of why we're in this mess with the situation between, because this all goes back to the Hillary Trump election.
Well,
let me know right after the talk.
we must begin. Let's go back.
Thomas Collins, also the editor-in-chief of the very famous magazine.
The guy is a German.
One of the mostly widely read and, my humble opinion, the best mass journals there is. We will speak about.
But the other dude is United States
with three elections
citizen.
with 3 candidates. We're going to take one out to dinner at the usual place. If you'd like to join me, let me know right after the talk. That's a good advance.
I sit here. I take your seat. Come in.
So we had a 3-candidate election. That's actually 4, but that's close to 3. The Ohio primary 2 days ago, and these are the final results. And this is copied from a website. Can you figure out somebody? I'll ask the same question I asked just a little while ago. Who didn't win this election?
I don't think Ron Paul won the election.
Ron Paul did not win the election. You can tell that from looking at these results. Who did win? Okay, that's a little harder, and you can make a case for Romney winning, and in fact that's how people are mostly reporting it. But I went to another website that took the other position and argued that what we really have here is 3 candidates, only one of them is really a faction represented by 2 people. This is all the popular votes and caucus votes cast in all the Republican primaries so far through Super Tuesday. And the person who built this website categorized the candidates into conservatives, moderates, libertarians. Moderates is Romney, Huntsman too, it's almost all Romney. Libertarians is Paul, and all the other candidates you've heard of are conservatives in the view of this writer. And so he gets these totals, where the conservatives are winning by a pretty substantial margin, still not a majority. And here is the spin that I copied from that website. There are 3 obvious conclusions. Romney is steadily outpolling his individual rivals, but he's not winning against the conservative faction generally. The third one is pure spin. I didn't list that. But that's not a wrong spin. That's a sensible view. So if you see this as basically the Romney group versus the non-Romney group versus the Paul group, then, well, the non-Romney group won the Ohio primary. So it's a little hard to tell, even when you've got all the votes listed in full 6 digits and percentages, who won that race. Compare that with the Virginia primary, which had the interesting rule that you can only vote for one of those 2 candidates. You can't write it, you can't write anybody else. That's all. And so, who won that one? Well, you can tell. There's one winner, and this actually has an extra advantage besides being clear and having nobody argue over the rules. It's clear also, it's socially cohesive making too, because of the people who vote, half of them, more than half, actually did vote for the winner and they know it. Maybe they had to settle, maybe they had to compromise, but they did go to the polls and they did vote for the winner, and when they come home they know they did it, and the party has had that unifying thing. In grade school, we used to play a game called Get to the Other Side. They divide us into 2 teams, one on each end of the playground. And we'd run across, and there were some rules about where you could run. And if you got tagged, you joined the team that tagged you. So you quit when everybody was on the same team. So everybody would run into the classroom saying, "We won, we won!" And it made everybody happy, and we never did catch on to that. But that's sort of, you don't get that for everybody, but you get the majority saying we made our decision. So there are a lot of advantages for a 2-person race. Here are them. In two candidate elections, there's only one way to pick a winner, so everybody knows what the rules are. If you've studied election theory, you know there are still problems with 2-person elections. If a group makes decisions by 2-candidate elections, they aren't always consistent. You can give people a series of 2-candidate elections that cause them to behave irrationally. And, well, there are problems with the system, but they are nothing like the problems with 3-candidate elections. So we're going to take the 2-candidate elections as the ideal that we aspire to. We're going to treat that as a solved problem and try to do that well with 3-candidate elections. Now, having just shown the Virginia primary and a bunch of races with Ron Paul, I wanted to find some kinds of voting that we need to give a name to before we go too far, because these make life complicated and we should have a word for each of them. So I use the term expressive voting to mean voting for a reason other than trying to influence this election. So let's go back to this one. Why is Paul there? What are those people doing? They're not influencing the result of the election. Ron Paul is not going to be president. Everybody knows that. What he is doing is building a movement. He used to be getting 2%, now he's getting 9%. He's really happy with that. So he's going to keep doing this, and people are going to keep voting for him, but none of that has very much to do with the Ohio primary, and none of it has very much to do with the presidential race. That's what I mean by expressive voting. The people are there doing what they mean to do, but it doesn't have much to do with this election. Voting for some reason other than the election is expressive voting, and strategic voting is voting in a way that is aimed at influencing this election, but isn't an obvious recitation of your preferences. Go back to that Ohio primary. Remember, it was like at the top were Romney and Santorum. Gingrich was way back. Do you suppose maybe there were some people who would prefer Gingrich but who voted for Santorum? Why would anyone do that? Well, if you're against Romney, if you want to stop Romney, and you can read the polls, which everybody can, then you might well vote for the candidate who's most likely to beat Romney. So probably a few people did that. And then look back at Virginia. Why did Ron Paul get 40% vote in Virginia? Well, a lot of the people who voted for Ron Paul, very likely, would prefer Romney to Paul as president. But they would even more prefer one of the other candidates. So they voted for Paul in order to keep Romney from looking too good. That's why wouldn't you? If you're a Gingrich voter in the Virginia primary, it makes a lot of sense. Not everybody like that will vote for Paul, but some will. That's strategic voting. It is aimed at influencing the outcome of this election, but it's not an obvious listing of your preferences in the most obvious way. So strategic voting that matters, I've listed 3 kinds. You can vote for a major candidate over a minor candidate. Most people do in presidential general elections. They vote for a major party candidate, even though most people would have some other preference. If they were able to vote for their admired uncle, they might. But they know their admired uncle isn't going to win. So they vote for one of the major party candidates to try to influence which of them wins. That's strategic voting. Or if you're allowed to rank the candidates, sometimes you're involved in some sort of a selection process where you rank the candidates. One of the things that you might do if you're sort of mean and nasty is take the main rival of your favorite candidate and rank them last. Hey, that's not just mean and nasty, that's smart. You pretty much have to do that if you want to exercise your maximum vote. So people do that. People sort of differ on how much they want to do that, which makes it a little rough. It makes it harder for the voters to figure out what to do if they have to think in those terms. A lot of people don't like strategic voting because it does impose a burden on the voters to decide what to do, which is over and above the problem of deciding what they want. So, okay, that's just definitions. So let's increase our body of examples.
Here's
Some of you may remember this election, Bush Gore in Florida in 2000.
Good example right here.
This isn't a 3-candidate election, but if you ignored everybody but the top 3, you'd have pretty much the story. So what's the lesson of this?
This is the Bush-Gore-Nader, what is known as the Ralph Nader
Nobody was
effect.
particularly satisfied with this result. Nobody went away saying, this didn't depend on the rules. Nobody went away saying, we made our choice and more than half of us voted for the winner. It just didn't happen. What they went away saying was, all those people who voted for Nader, I wish they'd done something else. So that's one of the things that you might want to avoid. How would you avoid that? Well, how would you avoid that? How would you run an election so this kind of thing doesn't happen?
What was the question again?
How would you run an election so that this kind of thing doesn't happen? So you don't have a lot of votes for a third candidate that might well have gone for one of the major candidates if people could, if things were different.
You forbid it. You only have 2 candidates.
Yeah, forbid. You have a condition to exclude those kinds of people.
So you can do that.
Yeah, have the election in 2 stages or 3 stages so that people like Nader will not be on the final.
And they did that more or less by accident in Virginia this year, and a lot of countries do that, and we could do that perfectly well.
Yeah, in France, we have rounds.
In France, they do that with runoffs, and I have a case of that. But they didn't do it here, and as a result, a lot of people are still unhappy with that result. And they're not satisfied that the people really made a clear choice. And go back a couple more elections, and people aren't satisfied with this one either. This is the national vote total. I know there was an electoral college, but the national vote total is a good proxy for it. Should anybody really be satisfied that the people chose Clinton over Bush? Well, those are the rules, and that's what we did. But everyone has to come away from this election saying, I wonder what the influence of Perot was. It would have been interesting to see, and maybe more satisfying, to have a head-to-head race between the two major candidates. Here's another one. This is the Alaska Senate race from 2 years ago. And I guess this raises the question of, if you're going to limit it to just 2 candidates, how do you pick the 2 candidates? What happened in Alaska is they had primaries. And Miller won the Republican primary, and McAdams won the Democratic primary, and there was no doubt who were the 2 major parties. Those were the 2 major candidates. But Murkowski, who was the incumbent and had run against Miller and lost, ran again as a write-in in the general and won. So how would you organize that election to get a satisfactory result? You can't just say Murkowski can't run, because that doesn't get the result they really did get. She didn't get a majority, so you... Well, let me ask about this. For people who remember that election, do you suppose Murkowski would have beaten Miller head-to-head if McAdams had dropped out and headed over? Because you remember what was going on. A lot of Democrats were voting for Murkowski.
You could pause it there.
And if McAdams had drawn out, a lot more would have. Murkowski would have gotten a bigger majority over Miller. Would she have beaten McAdams head-to-head? Well, a lot of Miller voters would have held their breaths and voted for Murkowski. She would have won by a bigger margin. She would have beat either of them head-to-head, but she didn't get a majority, but she did win the election. So that's probably a satisfactory result, but it happened more or less by accident in this case. Here's another one, Florida Senate. That's exactly the same story. Well, no, it's not the same story. It started out the same story. Christ was the incumbent who lost in the primary and ran as an independent, but he didn't win. One of the primary candidates won. So that just shows you can have the same situation, different result. People would have liked to see how this would turn out with just 2 candidates, but they wouldn't have known which 2 candidates to test.
So much better
In this race with Murkowski and this one with Christ, you can make the case for both of the incumbents who were running, Christ and Murkowski, that they were the middle candidate. In this one, it's possible to argue that Christ could have beaten either of them head-to-head. And that's pretty close to majority, so that's a hard case to argue, but it's possible.
This one.
The middle candidates are often good, and one of them won and one of them lost in this case. Here's Chile in 1970. The stakes were a little bit higher. Some of you may not know.
Oh, so good.
But Salvador Allende, who you may have heard of, was running as a Marxist candidate in Chile, and he was running against the representative of the incumbent
party. The type of problems that you see in the U.S. is because there's no, you don't have people who are trying to be strategic. They want expressive voting in the U.S. and that doesn't work.
What's the political leaning, would you say, on the island?
On the island, we have 5 political parties, but 2 are the strongest.
What are they like?
We have a 2-party system in general, and
kind of similar to ours.
It's similar to the U.S., similar to the UK, but the issue with ours is it's a lot more like the US than the UK. And
Ah.
what I mean by that is the new progressive party is not progressive, they're conservative. The reason why that is because there was a party switch. The
Ah,
party switch
yeah.
happened a party switch happened because there was a scandal in the 80s with Banco Popular, a bank here, that the PPD, or the Partido Popular Democracia, is they cheated the people out of money, and
Ah, Christ's sake.
they used that money to gain more money from the bank.
Oh,
Like
God. Mm.
they took donor money, and then they went and lended that money to the bank. The bank gave them another um like like a cash back, but
Ah.
the cash back was the exact amount that would cover the loan. So they would do that in a circle, saying that they were lending money,
Yeah.
but they were just getting free money from the bank.
Yeah.
And because of that scandal, conservatives left that party, and they went to the New Progressive Party, or Nueva Progresiva Partida, and it was just terrible after that.
Oh, Christ's sake.
And
I,
the
I,
the
I
New
assume you...
Progressive Party is the statehood party.
Ah.
The PPD is um, territory, the state to remain a territory.
Ah.
Both are horrible.
Yeah, I bet they are. Ugh. Hang on a minute. Give me a second, everyone. Carry on, Natok. Sorry, now. Carry on. I'm just going to stretch.
The new the state party is very Republican. Like the Governor Gonzalez is a Republican, and she's a MAGA supporter. She supports Trump a lot.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Um,
Do you have
everything out of her mouth is a lie, because
no surprise.
there is still Luma Electric. She said she was going to get rid of Luma Electric company.
Is that is that basically your energy supplier for the island?
The electric company, yes.
Yeah.
And she said she wanted to get rid of it. That's a left-wing policy that people have been wanting, but she didn't. There's still Luma on the island.
Nice one. I like that. That's good. I like that. I appreciate that. For all intents and purposes, our energy system is partly owned by the Scottish Executive, so the Scottish Parliament, essentially. Don't get me wrong, there's still capitalist energy suppliers, basically fossil fuel ones, who have major stakes in our energy production here in Scotland. but a part of it is owned by the British, the Scottish Parliament. So held basically held by the Scottish people essentially, which is a good thing. I appreciate that. I want it fully publicly owned. Obviously, it'd be better to work in the interest of the people, which would be good. I'd want that for everyone.
We don't.
Good.
The issue here is the left here wants to get rid of the electric company because it's highly privatized. A third of the company.
How much are you?
The,
You don't need to get into the weeds too much. How much is your personally energy cost, and like for your gas or electric or anything for your household?
The electric bill is
Roughly.
It's not like fixed. It's not a fixed rate.
Is it not? Ours is
Not
a fixed rate.
rate.
Ours is a fixed rate essentially.
Here it is a yield rate. So you could be charged $200 one time or $90 another. So it's not a fixed rate. And what I was going to get into was that a third of the company is owned by a Canadian company.
Oh, for fuck's
and
sake.
the issue with that is there was power outage on the entire island.
Yeah.
A couple times.
Christ, that must
when
have sucked.
When Trump was doing the tariff battle, the island was out of power.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
So it was tied into the tariff. Because the island couldn't pay for that electricity out of its own government, out of our own government, because our government is bankrupt. And we bankrupt in what I'm labeling it as, because we can't be bankrupt according to the United States, law, but we have tons of debt. We have $37 billion that we still have to pay on this island.
Yeah.
But during that time, the government couldn't pay for it. We only have enough grant money from the United States that we can, have the lights on.
Yeah.
Have their lights on, the government's lights on, but not here, not like the public.
Yeah.
But it's not okay. It's really not okay. It is 1/3 owned by Canadian companies because the United States wants to put on other countries the burden of the economy of this island. Yeah. They don't want to help this island. Like, there is a lot of American type stores, but they're not enough that would really put an impact on this island to make it somehow a state if we wanted to. And even though that there's efforts towards statehood, it's not good because it's under Republican control, and you have a bunch of MAGA Latinas and Latinos, and it just ends up being a disaster. And the reason why you saw a bunch of Latinos and Latinas voting for Donald Trump is because of what the Republicans were developing in the Bush era.
Is that Bruce? Is that Bruce Jr.?
Yeah, Jr.
Yeah.
George Bush Jr. was the first development, because Latinos and Latinas felt like they were discluded or rejected from the Democrats because of their association with the African American community, and that they felt like they didn't matter, Latinos didn't matter. They just left to the Republican Party because they felt like the Democrats were only focusing on the African American community versus the Hispanic community. That was the source and the turning point. And what Republicans have been doing since then have been constantly not in the favor of Latinos. And what do I mean by that? There was, under George Bush Jr., there was a, quote, acceptance of Latino culture within the Republican Party. That has radically subsided. And that has gone the other direction.
Has it basically dropped off a cliff?
Yeah, and the reason why is they want to smack and they want to use Latinos as a temporary voting base. And the reason why is because they don't have the reason why is they don't have enough white people to vote for Republicans, so they use Latinos as a substitute.
Is it majority Latinos on the island?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. What percentage would you say are like Angloid, white? On the island, would you say?
5%.
Christ, that's small. See, I take it for granted we're majority white here, as you can tell. Look at me. It's majority white here. We get divided on like class and religious lines, essentially. So atheist, but born and brought up Protestant, Church of Scotland. So we get divided that way.
Yeah. But I want to stress that the issue on the island is there is a lot of influence from the United States, obviously, ideological influence.
Yeah.
And there is so many things against the advancement of this island. But if you're talking about...
Is there many leftists on the island, would you say?
There is leftists. It has been increasing due to Bad Bunny. He is a rapper, reggaeton artista. You have that, and it's just
Was seen as a middle of the roader, but also
pause.
reggaeton artista.
You said Bad Bunny?
Yeah, Bad Bunny. He is a member of the Independence Party, which is the left-leaning party here. The actual left-leaning party here.
Is that him?
Let me see. Yes.
Go. I'm always up for a bit of reggaeton. Excuse me, everyone. Sorry about this.
He's a socialist leftist. So you're listening to a good artist.
Tú tienes muchas novias, ¿verdad? ¿Cuántas novias tú tienes?
Titi, yo tengo como 3 novias en la escuela.
¿Cómo es? Mira a ver, que te doy un chancletazo.
Chancletazo.
Ey, Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias, hoy tengo a una, mañana a otra, ey. Pero no hay boda. Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias, hoy tengo a una, mañana a otra. Me las voy a llevar a todas pa' un VIP, ey. Saluden a Titi, vamos a tirarnos un selfie. 6 chis, ey. Que sonrían las que ya les metí en un VIP, ey. Saluden a Titi, vamos a tirarnos un selfie. 6 chis, que sonrían las que ya se olvidaron de mí. Me gustan mucho las Gabriela, las Patricia, las Nicole, la Sofía. Mi primera novia en Kinder María y mi primer amor se llamaba Talía. Tengo una colombiana que me escribe todos los días y una mexicana que ni yo sabía. Otra en San Antonio que me quiere todavía y las de PR que toditas son mías. Una dominicana que juega bombón, uva bombón. La de Barcelona que vino en avión y dice que mi bicho está cabrón. Yo dejo que jueguen con mi corazón. Quisiera mudarme con todas por una mansión. El día que me case te envío la invitación, muchacho, deja eso. Ey, Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias, hoy tengo una, mañana otra, ey. Pero no hay boda. Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Ey, muchas novias, hoy tengo una, mañana otra. Titi me preguntó.
Just pause for a second. I won't get claimed for this, will I?
Oh no. Right there, you could pause it.
This is really good. I love that beat. It is really fucking good. I can still feel it happening in my hips. I usually I go for the top part of my body now. I used to be more lower. I used to be a dancer and stuff. It was actually quite good. I used to go into competitions when I was younger. Rumba, cha-cha foxtrots, things like that. So more of the Latin-based ones. I quite liked it. I used to have quite good movement.
Reggaeton is more like rap, so you could just do more party type dancing.
I'm liking the twerking, and I'm seeing lovely full buttocks, lovely rear ends on the lassies or babies, everything like that, and lots of lovely big boobage.
Pero ven acá, muchacho, ¿para qué tú quieres tanta novia?
Me la voy a llevar a todas pa' un VIP, ey. Saluden a Titi, vamos a tirarle un selfie. 6 chis, ey. Que sonrían las que ya les metí en un VIP, ey. Saluden a Titi, vamos a Que sonrían las que ya se olvidaron de mí.
Oye, muchacho, el diablo azaroso. Suéltese más vivir que tú tienes en la calle. Búscate una mujer seria para ti.
What the hell?
Muchacho, el diablo.
Ah.
Coño.
Yo quisiera enamorarme, pero no puedo, pero no puedo. Yo quisiera enamorarme, pero no puedo, pero no puedo. Sorry, yo no confío, nah, ni en mí mismo confío.
Some of
Si
this
quieres
stuff,
quedarte, hoy que hace
you
frío
can
y
pause
mañana
it.
te vas. Nah, muchas quieren mi baby gravy, quieren tener mi primogénito.
Pause. Thank
Some
you.
of this stuff
Carry on.
that you see, some of the stuff you see there on like criminal activity, some of that has happened here on the island.
Wow.
So some of the stuff that you see in reggaeton is obvious that you're gonna see in the island. Like just just a few days ago, there was a guy with a knife robbing a person at the grocery store for money with a knife. It's obvious that there's stuff like that. Sometimes you will see in the more ghetto areas, specifically like projects, people who will shoot and kill people in the projects with firearms. So some of this stuff that you see there happen, and it's not, it's not it's not good in under any circumstances, and it's not, fictional on here. It's him showing the different experiences, and it's not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
But that's one of the why you see that van image is like you do see tons of criminality. Yeah.
No problem, John. That's why I signed out of the call. You don't feel pressured or anything. Thank you. Thank you for coming in, by the way. One of my beast individuals here in the UK, John the Brazen, Rejoice, Mr. the Brazen, is here.
Hey.
Hi, John.
Hey,
Hi,
Brazen.
John.
Hi, John.
John's amazing. I love John.
Yeah, we were talking about the stuff here in Puerto Rico, and I was showing Bad Bunny, famous reggaeton artista, and his music.
Let's finish this. Let's finish the song, and I'll find one of my
Yeah.
other ones that's reggaeton. You might recognise it. I don't know, but
Bonsoir.
we'll go on to it next.
Y
to
lleva
see
el
what you think of it.
crédito, ya me aburrí y quiero un totito inédito. Uno nuevo, uno nuevo, uno nuevo, uno nuevo. Hazle caso a tu amiga, ella tiene razón. Yo voy a romperte el corazón, voy a romperte el corazón. Ay, no te enamores de mí, no te enamores de mí. Ay, sorry, yo soy así. Ay, no sé por qué soy así. Hazle caso a tu amiga, ella tiene razón. Yo voy a romperte el corazón, voy a romperte el corazón. No te enamores de mí, no te enamores de mí. No, sorry, yo soy así. Ya, no quiero ser así.
What the? Was he marrying an angel?
No, he is. Um, he's religious, and in this case, he is looking at um that girl of his as the church. Like
All
it goes up.
right.
It's based on like the Bible where the bridegroom and the groom, the wife will, become one, and the church will become one with God again, type stuff, you know, just apocalyptic type stuff. But he's not really like full Roman Catholic as you can think, or very big on religion, because he's very much a leftist. The one that turned away from like left leaning thinking was Daddy Yankee. Daddy Yankee was the another reggaeton artist that
Right.
um, that did that did turn to Christianity after he outed himself as bisexual. Because he thinks that his bisexuality is a sin. So
As in,
he went into the Andrew Tate crowd, and
oh dear
that's
God.
Daddy Yankee. That's Daddy Yankee,
Ah,
another reggaeton artist.
let's see what you think of this one. I love this song so much. I found Connor Price just on my shorts feed.
But Bad Bunny is a socialist. That's what he is in
Yeah, thinking that it happened overnight. It didn't. In it for
his
the long
political
haul
views.
flight. Committed. Wanted me to fail out of spite. I didn't. All bark, but they don't bite. They timid. Thinking that it happened overnight, but it didn't. In it for the long haul flight. I'm committed. Wanted me to fail out of spite, but I didn't. All bark, but they don't bite, cause I'm timid. Look, wait.
Actually, you could pause that. Pause that. I want to share something crazy.
Yeah.
On the island, when there was the governor's race between Governor Gonzalez and Juan Manuel, he went against the two-party system and said, let's have Juan Dalmau, the other Juan.
All right.
And
How many Juans on the island?
there's there's so many. Juan Dalmau was the other guy, and he supported him, and he said, we are going to support this guy. All the people who are Bad Bunny fans look at Bad Bunny as like a political figure, so they instantly changed away from Manuel to Dalmau. And from that situation, Juan Dalmau had beaten the neoliberal candidate, the party for popular democracy, which I despise. And he got number 2.
Is there many neo-lib politicians on the island?
There are. That's staying a territory. Staying a territory is a neoliberal position.
Yeah.
But yeah,
obviously there's neo-libs here as well who want to stay part of the union.
But he went, and it was only through his movement that you got a higher vote for the for the number 2 on that list. Didn't get enough for the to really get it over the edge. But
is it first past the post there?
It is first past the post, yeah. But it was only the margins between Juan Dalmau and Jennifer Gonzalez was 10,000 votes. It was 10,000 votes. It was that close that his movement
that is really quite close, yeah.
So it was very good of a movement.
Nice one. At least that shows some hope. So there is movement. There is scope to actually make things better and to get a better sort of candidate, better sort of government and stuff. That's good. That it shows that the people on the island are actually aware and awake to their political position and how much power they actually have. I like that. That is good. Nice one. So yeah. Obviously organising and movement building, good. Need to do. Carry on with that.
But Jennifer Gonzalez is definitely she's racist to Dominicans. That's who she's racist to. And it goes back to as I said, the Bush era, where MAGA Latinos, what you see today, or quote unquote Hispanic conservatives, which Hispanic conservatism to me is not what this is, not aligning with the U.S. That never was a thing when I was raising, being, because my father is a libertarian. He's a libertarian capitalist. That's the standard position, and he understands, and there's others like him that understand that in order to have if Latin America wants a capitalist, corporate state in the globe, you need to have a corporate South America. You can't just have you can't align with, United States, of America and, be with corporate United States.
Yeah.
And that's the version that I understand of, like, let's build a corporate South America. That's the one that I know. But
that's essentially what Reagan was trying to do.
No, Reagan was trying to have a corporate United States. So that's a whole different thing. Yeah.
Okay, let's listen to this one. I really like this. This is really quite a good one. Here we go.
Yeah, thinking that it happened overnight. It didn't. In it for the long haul flight. Committed. Wanted me to fail out of spite. I didn't. All bark, but they don't bite. They timid. Thinking that it happened overnight, but it didn't. In it for the long haul flight. I'm committed. Wanted me to fail out of spite, but I didn't. All bark, but they don't bite, cause I'm timid. Look, wait. I got people trying to wish and pray that I'ma fall about it, all about it, till we spoke in person. Don't wanna talk about it now, huh? Oh, you sound tough, toying with them, don't get wound up. How you wound up, another number in the round up. Put the town up, I built this thing up from the ground up. And if I bounce up, I get my crown stuck. Green light go, got the east side flow. I'm a giant in the space like FIFA4. All the kids sing along like EIO. Every time when they see my show, thinking that it happened overnight, yeah, did it. In it for the long haul flight, committed. Wanted me to fail out of spite, I didn't. All bark, but they don't bite, they timid. Thinking that it happened overnight, but it didn't. In it for the long haul flight, I'm committed. Wanted me to fail out of spite, but I didn't. All bark, but they don't bite, cause I'm timid. Look,
Esto talento we favor and you got no skill. I got drive, baby, ustedes son roadkill. Yeah, ya te dije, no están en mi carta perder. De pequeño estoy ungido, baby, ese es mi flex. No me dieron nada por me your host, yeah. 360 is your deal, man, I couldn't be me. Pa' mi frequency, te frequently. Matando esto con sabor y efficiency. No gasto tiempo, waste no time, not my money. Boss, baby, CEO del LLC. Lo tengo en un pánico. Dale rápido, quiero crecer y dar más fruto, algo botánico. Lo hice bien orgánico. Tommy el maquinón. Voy subiendo como espuma y tú bajando bien titánico. I built this in a day, but you know I'm here now to stay. I'm hungry, boy, I'm not here to play.
Thinking that it happened overnight. Didn't. In it for the long haul flight. Committed. Wanted me to fail out of spite. I didn't. All bark, but they don't bite. They timid. Thinking that it happened overnight, but it didn't. In it for the long haul flight. I'm committed. Wanted me to fail out of spite, but I didn't. All bark, but they don't bite, cause they timid. Look, wait.
Would you
But
class
yeah,
that as Would you class that as the reggaeton?
That's rap. That's not even. It's not even like the level of Spanish that you need.
Yeah.
That's not even the level of Spanish that you need at all.
According to Connor, Tommy Royale is well respected on the island. Apparently.
Huh?
According to Connor, Tommy Royale is well respected on the island. That he's one of the well loved artists on Puerto Rico. I like his voice. He does quite well. He sounds good.
He's not necessarily like big as Bad Bunny, but he's big. He's respected. The reason why you see a lot more favor for Bad Bunny over these other artists is because these other artists have not associated, you know, the true meaning behind what it means to be Puerto Rican. These other artists are just trying to copycat, you know, the United States rap culture and turn it into reggaeton.
Yeah.
He, however, associates his art with older ideas. That's why you see in the modern version of him, like if you go onto his YouTube channel, you will hear salsa, and you will hear bomba, and you will hear plena, you will hear different jíbaro música. You will hear these different other alternatives, and he will use that within reggaeton. He makes it personalized to a era in which young people didn't really get or to live in, and he presents it in that way. Cool. That is some of the things that he has been doing. That's why you're seeing a lot more of his popularity within young people. He does, give like the American type vibes here and there, but he gives that to people who really are either tourists or people who haven't or wasn't raised in that sort of environment.
Yeah.
So that's what you're saying.
Oh, can you help me a second? Does he sing in English? Don't get me wrong.
Bad Bunny, no. Bad Bunny, no. And he's firm on that. Just like others, they're firm on that. Except a few artists that tried to imitate, the United States. None of them speak in English. And they do.
No, I was just curious because I.
The reason why is because, to be frank, the language here is dying, and they want to be the last ones to to share it in a modern way. Most people here you will hear speaking Spanish, yeah, but you will also hear people occasionally speak English, and that is not good because you're seeing big change within like the attitudes. Like if I were to speak Spanish to somebody, which I can, I'll be understandable and they'll speak back to me. But there's some people who, because they know that I've lived in the States for a long time in my life, they'll just speak to me in English, and it's like, why? But they don't get this particular issue. I understand it. Other people understand it, but there's a faction that really doesn't comprehend that issue. Just a pain. Really is a pain.
Are you okay for us to end the call? I can bring you back on later on another stream if you want. I'm going to do another couple of videos that I want people to see. Then I'll be reading out. They're just short ones, and then I'll read out. I'll see if Shana's. In fact, I might actually read out just now. The ones I was thinking about doing, I can get to them tomorrow or later on today, because it's 4:30. I'll see if Cranky Pants is still going and we can read into Shanna. So we can end up. I'd love to have you back on, Sock. Now would be lovely, because you can explain the situation on the island. I've never been to Puerto Rico. I'd want to get there though, I really do. Your island looks absolutely fucking beautiful.
It was. The flattery is amazing, but it was. But the hurricanes have messed a lot of the beauty up, and I respect the flattery.
You're welcome. Yep. Thank you for being on the call, by the way. It's been absolutely amazing. Thank you for jumping into the stream. I really do appreciate it. I want to get more people on, so I can get people's perspectives and they can tell me the situation on their ground, and to see if I can help, or just highlight what everyone is experiencing and what it's like on the ground where they are, which is a good thing. Education is good. Showing everyone what it's actually like on the ground for us is always a good thing. Being able to actually activate people and showing, yeah, this is shit. I'm trying to make this change. I want it better for my people, for myself, for my family, for the wider community, and for our society. It's always a good thing to have people on. So thank you so much, Sock. Now it's been amazing. Thank you. And let's go and see if we can go and annoy Cranky Pants, because it is always fun to annoy Cranky Pants. Thank you again. It's been amazing. I'll invite you. I'll invite you back on later on. Thank you. It's been great. You can jump back into the chat, and then we'll read out. Thank you. Okay. Catch you later. Bye. Right. There's my channel. There's my Twitch one. Let's go and see if we can annoy Cranky Pants. Hello, Poco. Rejoice, comrades. Sorry, Poco, my dear. Bollocks. Do we not have our cranky pants? Oh, she be gone. Shanna? Ah, Shanna's gone. No Shanna. That sucks. Who else? Ooh. We have Mandragon. We have Stephanie. We have Dabfather. We have Bill Boneless. We have Bass Canadian. We have the Burb the Doodles. And we have Lainey and Boy Meets Minnie. Let us go and say hi to Lainey, darling. Thank you, Sock. Now that was amazing. Praise be. Everyone, go and follow Sock now. He is awesome. Soda, I'm conflicted. I will put it to a poll. Give me poll. Poll. Nipple. Minutes. Stop all. Back to George Hut. Let us do song. Our many faces. Because why not?
Into a new universe I stroll. Strategist, I'll master the role. My crowned illusions take control. I'll wear your face, your shape, your soul. Your power is mine. Senses bent and tied. My laughter echoes deep inside. I shimmer, vanish, then collide. I am Legion amplified. On many faces, twist and spin. Kaleidoscopes of serpent's grin. The threads of fate are wearing thin. Let Odin sleep, let mischief win. Icy Jotun blood I rise, gilded in Asgard's golden guise. Stitching space-time with my lies, my illusions catch unguarded eyes. Sip and sap from cosmic trees, I shape the future as I please. My legion's calling in the breeze. Who else but me could be the MVP? Twist and spin, kaleidoscopes of serpent's grin. The threads of fate are wearing thin. Let Odin sleep, let mischief win. In every timeline, our legion goes past. Mischief is the
Ooh. Sorry, why not? The poll's still going.
Keeping you in check, keeping you obsessed. Play me on repeat without you in your head. Anytime it hurts, play another verse. I can be your sanctuary. No, I'm the only one right now. I won't love you more when it opens down. More than power, more than gold. Yeah, you gave me your heart, now I'm here for your soul. I'm the only one who will love your sins. Feel the way my voice gets underneath your skin. Listen, 'cause I'm preaching to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher? Give me your desire. I can be the star you rely on. Never hold a chair, you can't look away. Don't you know I'm here to save you? Have you run the mile? Yeah, I'm all you need, I'm a big idol. Reaching on the fame, cancel what you, I'm your idol. Thank you for the pain, 'cause it got me going viral. Yeah, 나지 않는 fever, making you a believer. 나를 위해 넌 존재하는 idol. Don't let it show, keep it all inside. The pain and the shame, keep it out of sight. Your obsession feels like an addiction. 이 순간 give me all your attention. You don't want the only one who will love your sins. Feel the way my voice gets underneath your skin. Listen, 'cause I'm reaching to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher? Give me your desire. I can be the star you rely on. Never hold a chair, you can't look away. Don't you know I'm here to save you? Have you run the mile? Yeah, I'm all you need, I'm a big idol. Preach it to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher? Give me your desire. Watch me set your world on fire. Never hold a chair, you can't look away. No one is coming to save you. Now they're running wild. You're down on your knees, I'm a big idol.
Been a while, Lainey darling.
Big day for a big motherfucking reason to get back. Big shit, big dank bag, girl on my two-step set, tripping on these bitches, I ain't fucking with loose lips.
Chat, I gotta get into this. This is fucking the AOC video. I'll be right back, I have to pee, but God, this is gonna suck.
I know, upstate, that's next level. We can do it.
Sure.
We are gonna be,
Let's wait for Lainey's video to come back.
No, thank you. I cannot compute.
You have to be quick, my dears.
Yeah.
Scuba Duck. Gio's there. Hi, Gio.
I've been sending my mom like weekly orders of fire laws because I'm like, so so damn cold.
Oh, she lives in Syracuse?
Yeah,
Like
right
in Syracuse?
Yeah, in Syracuse.
Yeah, they got a lot of snow before. So I live like 30 minutes from Syracuse. So Syracuse is like here. I live on this lake, and I lake. Syracuse is here, and I live right in the middle of the lake.
Oh my gosh,
It is actually, you didn't get as much snow as Syracuse.
Lady darling. Yeah, I know, it's a lot of work, so.
They got
My mom's like, it says, I'm like, you literally moved to like the snowiest part of the country. Like, it's known to.
She works at, we had her on the shoe the other day. It was,
let's just read now.
For Micron. We had the Micron around. We did part of it at the Veterans Center in Syracuse. They had a whole beautiful
She took me to see it last summer. We drove past it. It's like, this is
Syracuse or the Veterans Center?
the Veterans Center.
Dehydrated. Self-care is good care. Take your meds.
Turn
Stay
back,
based.
heedless travelers.
Free Palestine.
History is no place
And I'll catch you
It's always an
later.
experience.
Bye.
How's your baby?
Amazing. He's a unit.